One more time. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the OKBeast podcast, episode 48. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye. Joining me this week is an array of people. We got a lot of people joining us this week. We got a lot of guests. And so, hold up. Let me pause real quick. I can hear myself. Okay. I had YouTube open in the other tab, and so I heard myself, and it confused me.
Oh boy.
We have a lot of people. We got, let me see here. We got Chris. We got two Chris's. What's up, Chris's?
Yo.
What's up, Chris Nelson?
Yo.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Happy to be here.
Nice. We got Chris Shriver. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Very tired, very exhausted, very excited though because Shadow of the Colossus announced 2 days ago, and I'm now a happy man. I can now die happy. We got Dylan Tierney. What's up, Dylan?
What's up?
How's it going?
Wish I had my camera on me, but I do not.
It's all good. You got a picture with that nice smile of yours, and so it's all good.
I got that smile, my Greg Miller smile. I actually took that picture with Greg. So.
We got Joel. How's it going, Joel?
Hey, what's going on? So, word on the street is that we're going 8 hours.
No, we're not.
I got nothing better to do.
Well, we'll go 8 hours if me and Bless start talking about Nintendo. But
we might go 8 hours in that case.
We'll save that.
We'll probably get into it right after this. We got Moises. What's up, Moises?
Hi, how are you, Blessing? I love you and I miss you so very much.
Miss you too.
I'm touching your. Wait, can you put it on your face right now?
What? Put one on my face. My hand.
You gotta talk.
No. I want you to put your face on the screen. Like, make yourself the one so that I can just touch your face on the screen.
Oh no, I'm good, fam. I'm
Okay,
good. We don't
I'm
need
doing
all
it right
this
now.
Is a family-friendly show. That's not true, but this is
Family-friendly show.
this is
Not what
the
you said like
internet
5
friendly
minutes
show.
ago. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, like I said, no nudity, none of that.
You didn't say
Unless
anything
you're
about
Dylan,
virtual
we don't care.
caressing. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Exactly. This is the OKBeast podcast. Remember that this is a weekly show. It is a weekly gaming and nerd culture centric show. This is where we get together and talk about the biggest topics in games and culture. If you like the show, remember to subscribe to us on your streaming service of choice. Visit okbeast.com and follow at okbeast now on Twitter. Now give me 1 second. I need to open up this Hangout so I can, or the video so I can see comments, but I need to mute the video so that I'm not hearing myself. So that's done.
Say no more. Say no more.
So, okay, now I can see live chat, and I see that Alex Van Aken's roasting me, saying this is a train wreck. First of all, Alex Van Aken, you try doing this. We got freaking six people in a hangout all doing a podcast.
Why is Alex just not here?
Because where's Alex been in the last week? I had 4 videos go up this morning. I had 3 podcasts go up earlier this week. I've had like multiple.
On top of that, during the show that he was supposed to be covering, he was on a mountain. Like, what the shit?
I don't know what Alex Van Aken does be doing nowadays. He just
I
chills.
I think
Colorado,
you should get rid of him. Yeah.
chopping down trees.
He's already helped
mountains.
redesign the site. I think at this point you can just cut him loose.
Dude, that would be such like a baller move if I was like, oh yeah, let's do the site together. Then he builds it, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm out. No,
Hey, Blessing.
What up?
You have the screen locked on Chris right now.
Oh, do I? Oh, what's up, Chris?
Yeah, so it's only showing him.
There we go. Maybe that's what Alex Van Aken meant when he said it was a train wreck. So E3 is a thing that's been happening for the last week, and we've seen a lot of announcements. We've seen a lot of games revealed. We've seen release dates. We've seen quite a bit, and it's really exciting. Are you guys excited?
No.
I mean, don't all answer at once.
Nothing says excited.
So why are you not excited?
Yeah, I was gonna say, first question: how was this E3? Was this E3 great? Was it like, is it comparable to like previous E3s? Like, where do you guys stand?
I feel like wasn't like as much of wow factors as the last couple, but still some consistent solid announcements and stuff. You know, you're getting your AAAs, you're getting some indie stuff in there. You're kind of running the mill stuff. I think it's just natural that this long into a console cycle, we're kind of getting these sort of not growing pains, but like slightly diminished results in terms of wow factor. But I still think we're getting good games.
Yeah, I think we're getting good games. I just think like presentations have just been weak, and I don't know if part of it is just that we may be fatigued from all the great games we've already been getting all year, and so like it's just like we've experienced these things, and we're just seeing like what's up next, and maybe the difference between seeing and experiencing it is really wearing on us. So like it's been an okay showing, but I haven't been crazy wowed by anything I've seen at the show this week.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation because I feel like Microsoft and Sony both, they don't really know where they stand in terms of their console cycle. Like they're both like in kind of like a mid-range where they're producing these consoles that can do good stuff, but then the developers are being held back by the capabilities of their older systems. So I don't think we're going to see like anything amazing at E3 until they announce like a new iteration of system, whether it be the PlayStation 5 or the next Xbox.
Do you guys think that it is a thing of like you said, like the console generations are kind of in an awkward place right now? Or do you think another added factor might be the fact that like it seems like companies are announcing a lot of their games outside of E3, and so like leading up to E3, Ubisoft, for example, announced Far Cry 5. They did like the whole like trailer, they did the whole big reveal of that before E3. They told us that we're gonna get a new Assassin's Creed. They told us about the Crew 2. Like most of Ubisoft's conference, we already knew about. There's Mario and the Rabbids thing that leaked, and so that wasn't necessarily like part of their plan. But it seems like we're getting a lot of review. Like we got Destiny 2, that was revealed beforehand. There's Call of Duty that was revealed, but we usually get Call of Duty reveals before E3, and so that's not too surprising.
Yeah, we usually get it at like the NBA Finals, which is like right before E3 typically.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of that has to do with just like the pressure games media is putting on dudes. Like almost every time one of these reveal events has happened, and somebody at the event gets pressed on like, "Hey, why did you do this now as opposed to at E3?" Their answer is usually because it'll get leaked otherwise, and like that is the primary cause for so many early showings. So in a way, the very people covering E3 to give us like content about what's up, like what's going on there, are sort of directly responsible for why we may not be too excited for the games that they actually do show there. Yeah, because like you said, Ubisoft, everything there was basically something we knew. Even Beyond Good and Evil, which was re-announced, was a thing that like there had been chatter about it leading up to art. Yeah, there was the concept, and then it was announced in the first place like 8 years ago, I want to say. So and then since then people have just been digging more and more into that story. So yeah, I think it's leaks that probably ruin a lot of it for us.
I mean, it's leaks, and then it's companies realizing that they can save a lot of money and get similar amounts of hype just by kind of doing their own thing. In that regard, I think Nintendo's kind of ahead of the ball. I really think we're going to start seeing PlayStation and Xbox Directs here in the next couple of years, because that's what they've been the last couple of years. Is just game after game after game after game. Not a lot of live stuff. Not a lot of a focus on the wow factor of being there and crowd reaction and stuff.
And like most of the not most of the conferences, but more conferences this year took a direct approach. Like you said, like Sony had done it last year and they did it this year. Bethesda was in and out in like 40 minutes. And that was primarily video packages. Even Microsoft was longer, but it was essentially the same as just game after game after game with very minimal like human presence.
With Phil Spencer
except for that awful shoutcasting bit. But
oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not going to talk about that.
Just for a whole minute, like, oh god.
I feel like a lot of it.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say. I think.
Keep interrupting each other. You want to even go? I've talked too much.
6 people.
All right. I think that mainly what it comes down to is hype all around, because I mean, if you think about it, Destiny was about a month ago, and there was really nothing going on at the time. So like people talked about Destiny a lot more then than say they announced it at E3 this year. Sure, it would still be talked about a lot, but there would be other games that people could talk about as well. So it really didn't make that much of impact at E3 this year,
Mhm.
as
think a
opposed
lot
to
of
them
it's
doing
like-
it a month ago.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
it's like a multifaceted issue. Like the E3 when it started, we were still in print media. Like the internet was still coming. I don't want to say it was coming out, but like YouTube wasn't a thing, Twitch wasn't a thing, and I think you're really seeing the streamer. I don't want to call it market, but like that kind of media really having an effect on these releases. And it almost like begs the question, like, do we really need this anymore? Because you have Nintendo having these directs like every quarter to keep their shareholders happy and to keep us like, oh, what are they going to do next? And honestly, it's the most excited I've been about Nintendo. Obviously, we're in this Mario Polo that I've been in a long time. Like I feel like I'm back to like GameCube hype, which is really exciting. But you know, Microsoft, it seemed like they came out and they were looking at what Sony did last year and how everybody reacted to it, and they you know, tried to make it their own, and it kind of fell flat.
Is there anybody here that like really particularly liked this E3, or are we all in consensus that it was like kind of meh compared to like previous years?
I think it was solid, but like nothing flashy. Like the last 2 years were just so good that we kind of got spoiled, and there was nothing like crazy enough around like across the board to kind of make this like a good E3, especially with how cynical like the internet is and stuff like that.
And then
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4 happened, and that lost.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh,
Yeah, but
That was
based
a
on
great
E3s in recent years, I mean, we were bound to get a dull E3 sooner or later. So I think the next E3 is going to be really big.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering the games that haven't come out between last year and now, especially if you look at Sony's conference, like I think we were all going into this E3 with them expecting to get 2017 for Spider-Man and God of War and all that, and we didn't, and I think that's what really let a lot of people down.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Sony, so like, part of me thinks that they saw people's response to like getting games or seeing announcements for games that aren't going to come out for like another 3 or 4 years. Like 2 years ago, we got Final Fantasy VII. We got the re-reveal of Last Guardian. We got Shenmue 3. Last year, it was God of War. We got Detroit. Actually, I can't remember exactly when Detroit was announced, but we got
Detroit was announced during Paris Games Week.
Oh yeah, that wasn't E3, was it?
2 years ago.
We also got Spider-Man and all that stuff, and so like it seems like lately they've been announcing things that are super far out, and I think if they did that again this year, I could see people's reactions being like, "Oh, Sony's E3 is always like, oh, they're always announcing games that are super far out. Like none of their announcements really matter because half these games are gonna be delayed or half these games are gonna be canceled anyway by the time they come out." Do you guys think that this E3 was a response to that? Because it seems like most of the stuff they showed off, they're all either 2017 or 2018 games.
it's very damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And like, I didn't think particularly highly of Sony's presence at this E3, but at the same time, like, because their previous E3s have been so pie in the sky, so far away, they got to kind of catch up and rein it in a little bit. So I'm willing to give them some slack. And like, the games they showed at least do look good, do great, I'd say. Like, the stuff that was there was fine. It's just like, it's, for the most part, stuff we've already seen and stuff I'm not exactly fiending for. Like, God of War is fine. It looks like what I expected it to, but I don't know. Like, they needed to rein it in a bit, and they did. But like I said, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not like really upset with Sony because they didn't give firm release dates, even though that's what I've been saying. I guess what I'm more mad about is that I thought those had firm release windows in this year when they showed it last year, and then they come this year and they say, no, basically all of that has been delayed. Like, I think that's what I'm more upset about. So I'd love it if they stopped showing games way too early, because I was really excited for Detroit Become Human when it was announced like 2 years ago. And I feel like we're going to see Detroit at next E3.
Ooh,
and
possibly.
I don't like seeing, like, I was talking to...
Did they give a release date for it?
No, it doesn't even have a year attached.
It, honestly,
gosh.
yeah, it didn't
That
have
and
it.
Days Gone don't have years attached to them.
That's
kinda nuts.
crazy to me.
Those two are going to be like the most likely candidates to show up at E3 next year, and it kind of sucks. But at the same time, I'm not all that excited for Days Gone. But as for like Detroit, like that's killing my excitement for that.
Yeah, same here because like I'm a very big Quantic Dream fan. I really loved Heavy Rain. I thought Beyond Two Souls was cool. It had like great moments, but I'm a really big fan of Quantic Dream's method of storytelling. Like their games are cool in the sense that the way you interact with them is the way you interact with those games is very different from the way you interact with like any other story game. Like it's an adventure game, so like you can liken it to something like Telltale games, or you can liken it to something like Until Dawn, which is probably even closer. But like the very aesthetic of his games and the very tone and nature of the way that David Cage's games kind of go for, like they have something special about them, right? Like the way the icons appear on screen, right? Like Heavy Rain kind of introduced like when you're making a decision, you see the four choices with like the four icons, and like they're all like kind of like bouncing around in your head, and they have like a very cool visual representation. And then like
they also just like introduced like well, not introduced, but maybe even popularized like the subtle like QTEs. I feel a long time ago were really like not flashy, but they were all in your face when they showed up. Heavy Rain was like the first game where it was just like you see the like the button you need to press really clearly, but it's not taking up like a huge part of your screen. It's really subtle, and that was like a thing that I noticed a lot. Like in like The Last of Us had like the really small button presses that you kind of had to go up close to the icon to find out like which button to open a drawer or for any like QTE. So like the way they've designed those games has like introduced UI things for future games that I really like. But no, like I'm excited for Detroit. I wish I had it.
Same here. How do you guys feel about the trailer for Detroit? Because I've been seeing people have different feelings on it.
I mean, as far as all the trailers at E3 go, like they've all been running way longer than I feel like any of them should. And Detroit is one of those that also ran really long. I like the scenario there, especially given like the fact that the actor, who I think his name is Jesse Williams, like the actor in the lead for that scene is like an activist. So it kind of made sense to me that they would use him in like an activist scene, and I think it's like that scene has brought more tension to the story than some of the like there was that hostage scenario that they showed before, but like that felt way more intimate. This one felt more grand and had to do more with like the cause that I think David Cage is looking for in the game. So it was fine, but just like any other trailer this week, it's been too long.
Now in the comments we have Jordan and Cam, who actually I want to get them in this discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that they were there.
Yeah, they want to get in. I told them before. I gave them the option before. I want to know from you guys, Jordan and Cameron, in the chat. Can I get you guys in like 20 minutes? Because I think what we'll do is we'll have like a rotation going on. Because I feel like if I add two more people right now, it might get a little bit hectic because it already is like kind of hard to facilitate conversation. Let me know if you're busy in 20 minutes, then I'll get you in right now. But let me know what you guys are up to. So continuing this conversation, actually not even continuing this conversation. I want to ask you guys actually flat out. If actually I'll ask it. I have opinions on the question itself, but we'll get into it. In your guys' opinion, who won E3, quote unquote?
Nintendo.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you would have asked me on Friday who I thought was going to win, it definitely would not have been Nintendo. But Nintendo 100% won.
Nintendo.
What I thought, Nintendo.
Is everybody Nintendo here?
Nintendo. I think Nintendo took it.
Is there anybody who's not Nintendo?
I think you can make a case for Microsoft.
For Microsoft?
No, Ubisoft. I think
Oh,
you could
Ubisoft.
make that argument.
What is your case for Ubisoft?
Oh God, Bless is about to destroy.
No, I just think-
He's setting
I
up the
feel
debate
like-
right now.
I feel like they had a lot of games that, especially after, like, I did not care for the Bethesda conference personally.
Okay.
Oh,
But,
those are fighting words.
Mostly because I knew, like, the podcast that I record on, the platformers, we were talking about it beforehand, and I was like, I don't know what, like, you know, oh, they're going to show Elder Scrolls 6, and they're going to, you know, like, other guys were going nuts, and I'm like, they're going to come out, they're going to show Fallout VR, they're going to show Doom, the new Evil Within, Wolfenstein, and I don't know what else. And that's pretty much what we got. So I was fine with it because I got what I was expecting, but they were like crapping all over it. Ubisoft, I thought, did a really good job with what was the one? Skull and Bones, like the Black Flag kind of. You know, you like nobody expected that, so that was exciting. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, that was a really nice presentation of just like what that game was. You could that was the only conference that you could really tell where like they had the developers there, and some of these people just like put their heart and souls into their products, and you could tell that like they really, really cared about the work that they had done for it.
There was a level of earnestness they had that was I appreciated for sure.
Yeah.
Of like that guy they panned to when Miyamoto's talking about, oh, he had this guy come in and like, you know, help with his game, and like he was getting all teared up and stuff. Like
That was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
when
It was, like,
when
direct on the
Shigeru
game.
Miyamoto was like, this guy is really pushing this forward, and I was happy to work with him. Like you could tell that made his entire life.
I mean, that's like a notice me senpai moment for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
I don't know. Ubisoft. I mean, and I've already mentioned this on like previous episodes and on Twitter a lot. And I got a lot of heat on Twitter for it because I was not a fan of Ubisoft's conference because like I felt like most of their announcements, if not like none of their announcements, and this is on a personal level, and so like this probably doesn't apply to most people, but none of their announcements really appealed to me personally. Like Skull and Bones was a cool announcement, but like that's. I mean, for me personally, again, that's not a game that I'm in that I would be into. Like, I don't like pirates. That's like the same reason that I'm not into Sea of Thieves. Also, I don't think Sea of Thieves is going to sell that much, but that's a whole different thing. I just said that to annoy Alex and Aiken.
Oh fucking.
But then,
dare.
like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom, I'm actually surprised how many people are into Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle because, like, seeing that, I thought it was a cool announcement. I thought it was I think it's like a cool thing to have, but I didn't think of that as like one of like the big announcements. Like, in your guys' opinion, like is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle like something you would consider to be like a showpiece, or was it more like the presentation around it, like the Miyamoto coming out and like the earnestness behind it, or is the game itself something that you think like seems exciting and something that you're gonna get?
It's
I think
something
that
to get. No, go ahead. I always
All right,
dominate. So go ahead.
All good. Sorry about that. I think the presentation was great, mixed with I don't know about you guys. I personally had like expectations on the floor for this game. I thought it was just gonna be straight trash. So the combat looking like pretty good, and the art style of like Mario shining through. I thought that all came together for it to be like a pretty like decent chunk of the like my positive thoughts on Ubisoft.
No, yeah. I'm with you. Like I was hoping that the game would be good, not knowing exactly what it was going into the show. I was worried about what it could be, and then when they showed it and it was basically Mario XCOM, I was just like, okay, I can play this. I can definitely play this. I can for sure play this on my Switch, and it is something that it was completely out of left field. I was not expecting XCOM, like Nintendo XCOM.
For sure, it was so leaked for like months and months and months, and it's like
Yeah.
I still was my not jaw was hit the floor, but I'm like, what is this? Like,
And I think every leak had said something along the lines of like a tactical RPG, but then at the same time I was just like, okay, but what do you mean exactly when you say a tactical RPG? Because an RPG is like by nature tactical. So what exactly is it?
Also, I feel like if they didn't have the Mario and Rabbids game in the Ubisoft conference, it wouldn't like. I probably wouldn't know what it is. Like, say they announced it during the Treehouse events, like I wouldn't have known what it was, or probably not even cared about it until after it came out and everybody started talking about it.
Interesting.
I can't believe Mario and Rabbids are crossing over for an XCOM.
Yeah, it's such a weird.
Incredible.
Rabbids specifically, one, I've never met somebody who like cared about the Rabbids.
Rabbids are trash. That's the thing.
Like,
Just straight
so, like,
trash.
Rabbids are the
Big
minions of
Yeah, they're Ubisoft minions.
Yeah, that's the thing
straight
about me
trash.
is that I love Mario with like all my heart. Mario is my favorite franchise. Like Mario 64 is my favorite game, and so like in Rabbids,
That game hasn't aged well, by the way.
Wait, Mario 64 hasn't aged well. Do we
What?
want to
You
have
can
this
sit
conversation right now? That game's aged perfectly. I played that
Let's
game
say
last
Bless,
year.
like we're about to team up for the first time ever, and it's that Mario 64 is my favorite game of all time. So we got this.
Yes, that game still feels perfect to
Oh,
this
it's just
day.
the perfect control.
Like I think that game controls better than a lot of games nowadays. Actually, like that game, when you press a button, it does exactly what you want to. Like there's no like struggle.
And
There's no like if I want to turn on a dime, Mario turns on a dime, and he does like quick animation. It's quick, fast.
They give you the
Um,
whole toolkit from fucking second one, and you're good.
Yes.
You don't need anything else. You'll get sometimes like a flying cap, metal. Oh, all right.
So good. But like I said, I love Mario. Rabbids, I do not care about. And I guess like if we look at it in the sense that like I can't really say that Rabbids are half the game, right? Because like the characters don't make up like the whole of the game, right? There's the tactics nature to it. There's the gameplay. There's like the aesthetic. There's the fact that it's on Switch. There's a lot of things that contribute to the idea that this game is a cool game to have. But I don't know. It just seems like for me, it seems like a very like random game that, well, one, I'm surprised to see people take to it, but I'm glad people are taking to it because I'm glad for people to have things that they want and things that
It's
look
kind of
cool to them.
emerging as a sleeper hit at E3, which
Yeah.
I thought people would like it at the very least. I wasn't expecting people to really come away from like a lot of the media people went to a pre E3 like Nintendo event where they played all of these games and they basically saw the direct. And a lot of them like came out of it saying like this game is actually surprisingly good and we're all probably going to pick it up. So that's what really like surprises me about it.
I'm gonna start calling on you guys like classroom style. So Joel, what I want to know from you is what's your favorite announcement from E3?
From E3 as a whole, I think A Way Out. That
Yes.
game looked amazing. I think it's a very interesting concept in the whole, like you have to play it cooperatively with somebody either next to you or online. Honestly, I don't know how that's going to play out in the end. I mean, it appeals to me, but I could see why to a lot of people they might not be interested in that because maybe they don't have like, their gaming buddy who they can play with, or even want to play with anybody else.
Especially when so many games haven't really prioritized needing a cooperative partner in so long. Like we're seeing the resurgence of co-op, so I appreciate that they're harkening back to that, and because I haven't made a friend in a video game in so long because every video game is either single player or you go online and you shoot each other. But
Yeah,
I want somebody to shoot people with online. God damn it!
Yeah, even when you're playing like Call of Duty or Halo, literally nobody has a mic or everybody's in their own party.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was also one of my favorite announcements. Like the idea that one, they're forcing co-op, which for a game like this is not something you usually see. For a game like this, like the game reminds me of almost like a Quantic Dream game. I know it's probably gonna be a lot different from that, but it reminds me of something. It's narrative heavy and it's narrative focused, and it seems like it's telling like this cool specific story. And then for it to be doing that and also be a co-op only game, and especially for it to be like a split screen only game, like this game is you have to play this game in split screen. You can't play it single screen. For it to be that, like, one, it's unique. Two, it's really cool. Three, I think it opens up really interesting storytelling opportunities. It could suck in the end. Like that game could come out and it could be garbage. Like I have no doubts that it has the possibility of being garbage given like the circumstances around it. But from what I've seen, I'm like really impressed. And if this game pulls what it's trying to do off, then I think that is really cool and it's really impressive. It's going to be like one of my favorite games of the year. I think, did they say the year is coming out? Is it coming out 2018?
They
Early
said
2018.
Early 2018. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I'm also interested as to how long you think that game will be.
ooh.
Like, do you think that's going to be like a 10-hour game? Do you think it's going to be like a 3-hour experience? Like, I wonder where it falls.
I think it for sure falls in between 6 to 10 hours.
I think like 5 to 7 is my guess.
Okay.
Because it's hard to make a game like that that's long because you have to be playing with somebody else. And so like,
Exactly.
but also like for a game like that, that doesn't look like it's gonna be like a 3-hour kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna put that much budget behind something, well,
Yeah.
I could say that, but then again, like the Order 1886 exists, and so I don't know. Maybe it could be 3 hours, but I
Okay,
can
that
see
game took me like 8 hours. Where are people coming with this 3 hours crap
you
about?
got a
doing
speed run, man. You got a speed
it?
run.
To be fair, I did also like get the platinum, but like in
Wait,
like
did you get the platinum in 8 hours?
yeah,
There you go.
I'll do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like but also looking around for collectibles in that game is also not a incredibly difficult thing.
Mhm.
Like I think I finished. Okay, I think I finished the game and then I literally went back for one collectible, and then that was what I needed for the platinum, and that was me just playing through the game normally.
Mm.
So I don't get this 3-hour crap, but nonetheless, continue.
Chris Shriver, I want to know what your favorite announcement is.
Oh, part of me wants to say more of Mario Odyssey, but I feel like that's like kind of a cop out.
No, say that.
It's not good.
The beginning of that trailer was just great. Like at first, my brother kept texting me all during E3, and he's like, "They better announce a new Turok. Come on, Acclaim." And I'm like, "Acclaim doesn't even exist anymore, so that can't happen." I went on this whole big bit, but so when that started, I like started laughing, and but no, I mean the mechanics that they've introduced into that game are really really exciting. What I am kind of weirded out by or worried about with it. The environments look kind of meh, but just from what we've seen, at least I think New Donk City looks a little weird. But every character model, with the exception of like real people in that game, look flawless. Like I'm
Real people
definitely
look weird.
What's that?
T-Rex looks weird too.
The real people look weird.
Yeah,
I'm
they look like the
uncomfortable.
NPCs in the Sonic the Hedgehog like 2006 game.
Yeah, I really do. Really unsettling when you take one of them over.
Yeah.
I'm very
yeah.
uncomfortable with the implications that Super Mario Odyssey is putting on Mario's humanity. You know? Like, I'm really worried about like what they're trying to say Mario is, because Mario has always been like the definitive fuck Superman, fuck any superhero. Mario is like the pinnacle of man for me. And to find out he's not technically man, I guess, is kind of breaking my heart
he's
right
better.
now.
He's even better. He's on a higher plane. That's why he's so short compared to all the other normal people. He's reached some kind of.
It's so weird. It literally is so weird just seeing, because I just always would have just assumed Mario is a human being.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
never
what the
it's like,
fuck
what
is
is
said
he?
otherwise too. That's the thing. It's just
And that's like Super Mario. That's not even regular Mario. Regular Mario is like a foot tall, I think.
I said afterwards, like it would be so weird to be running around Philadelphia and just all of a sudden see like a cartoon, like actual Mario amongst everyone else.
I agree with you about the environment though. Like for New Donk City, like there's like a fog there that kind of was a little bit off-putting to me. Like in the
I feel
background.
like it's only there just so they're like, hey, we can't actually render this, but
Yeah, that's what
Well,
it kind of felt
think
like. It
about it.
felt really weird to me because like in a game like Zelda has like a great draw distance. Like you see stuff way in the distance of Zelda, and like you see like the Death Mountain, and you see like the desert, and you can look around and see everything, every place you can go to, and they do that purposely. And in a game like Mario, where like the game's a lot more compact, it's not doing as much as far as like environment wise as Zelda. You would think that they would be able to like render like a beautiful kind of background, but part of me wonders if that's like the part of the level, like maybe like you clear the fog at one point. I don't know, but yeah, that New Donk City was kind of weird to me
because they've been saying like the desert, when you see like Mario in the desert in the demos, he's always shivering.
Oh yeah,
because it's like unnaturally cold and like it's frozen over. So it might be that like you solve like environmental issues in the worlds.
Maybe he's
Also-
like coughing in New York City the whole time. It's like,
No,
oh,
actually-
this fog.
Moises,
guys,
that's
Al
a
Gore.
really good point, because the forest level that they showed is in like a biodome kind of thing, seemingly.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
you
was
look
gonna
off in
say.
the distance, you
That's
can kind of
also-
see like
You see
the
like the
Simpsons
line.
movie kind of like you see like the lines and like you're like, oh, this is obviously like this isn't like a real, or it could be like a real forest, but it's not. There's something about that level where like you're in this confined space, but it's supposed to look like this like expansive kind of forest, which I thought was really cool. Like I wasn't expecting that.
Mario Odyssey is going to be a very interesting game. That's all I'm saying.
It's the game that's gonna compete for my game of the year with Zelda. Like there are few games that can compete with Zelda for me right now for game of the year.
I should really.
Persona 5 was one of them, but
Look, I'm not talking
I
with you about.
still need to beat it. I'm not gonna hit on Persona 5 right now.
About your fuckery with Persona 5. Don't even start with me, boy.
The dungeons are bad. Mario Odyssey is one of them, and then there's Sonic Mania, of course.
Oh lord,
which is
My
like,
boy.
come on, like
Man.
come on.
Lord.
No, you're not wrong, man. It looks really good. I hope that the remix levels aren't like too much just the Genesis levels, and they aren't in some spots. But yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania looks dope.
So
I'm going into that game. Oh, sorry.
Oh no. Oh, you can go ahead real quick. Actually,
I was just gonna say I'm going into that game the way I went into Force Awakens, where it's like I'm excited about it, but it could be terrible, and I just have to be prepared for that.
yeah. So I'm wanting to phase in Jordan and Cam and Alex Van Aken actually. But before I do that, I want to ask the remaining guys like what your favorite announcements at E3 are, and also I want you guys to plug your Twitters and the things you want to plug. And so Joel and Chris Shriver, you guys already kind of told us your favorite announcements, but real quick, what are you guys' Twitters, Joel?
You can find me on Twitter at Campos63.
Sweet. And do you have like a podcast or anything like that you want to plug?
Yeah, so I do a podcast. It's just a gaming podcast, just like this, called the Pixel Street Podcast, and I have my own blog at camposcash.wordpress.com.
Nice. Shriver, what about you?
So you can find me at Shrives93. And I am on the Platformers podcast, which I actually have to hop off and start recording that. But I want to thank you guys for having me on here because this was dope.
Oh man, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man.
By the way, yo, I like your shirt.
Yep, thank you. I got it at Nintendo World in New York City.
Yo, I live in New York City. How have I not seen that shirt?
I don't know.
Fix this.
Nice. Moises, what's your favorite game and what's your Twitter, or not your favorite game, sorry. What's your favorite thing from E3 this week? And also like plug your stuff if you want to.
I mean, for sure, my favorite thing has to be Super Mario Odyssey. Like, it's just, it's incredible. Also, I just love the fact that capture is capture because of the fucking cap. My Twitter is at Platino Ranger, and you can find the writing that I do for a site I started called Late to the Game. The website is latetogames.wordpress.com. And I have things written on OKB, so Blessing can direct you there eventually.
Yeah. Dylan, what about you?
It's actually incredibly difficult for me to decide between Dragon Ball Fighter Z and
That's a good one.
Metroid Samus Returns, which I know is controversial, but I know it's a 3DS game. But my God, more people should actually play Metroid 2. That's a good way to play it. But I'm gonna give it to Dragon Ball Fighter Z for this one, just because it's kind of everything I've ever wanted in a fighting game. Like, it's extremely technical, but at the same time, really does a good job of being open for new players.
Nice.
The art style is the best art style for fighting games ever. Period. That's what BlazBlue and Guilty Gear strive for, and that's what this game is copying. And it's from those guys who made those games. So it looks great. Looks like it's gonna play great, and like all they're really needing is more features and stuff built in. But this game's coming next year, so Dragon Ball Fighter Z definitely high on my list.
Sweet.
Hold on. Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Dragon Ball Fighters?
Could go either way, but
Fighters.
Fighters.
But it looks incredible.
Do you
Just
like
seeing
the
some
name
of the
Dragon Ball Fighter
animations.
Z?
What's up?
Do you like the name of it? Dragon Ball Fighter
mean,
Z?
It's okay. It's not as great as, it doesn't really ring a bell like Budokai or Tenkaichi or anything. If they just called it like Dragon Ball Fighters, like literally just with an S, I think that'd be better. But it's fine.
Admiral Chris Nelson. What about you?
That's me. So honorable mention. Honorable mention to Metroid Prime 4. I freaked the fuck out. Like stood up, like I was like chilling on a chair, like stood up screaming. But similar announcement that I had the same reaction to was original Xbox backwards compatibility.
Dude. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I did the same thing. I like danced in my room for a good like 10 seconds when they announced that. Like I got up and started dancing. As soon as like the animation appeared on screen.
It was so hype. It was
Yeah.
I think it was the most hype reveal of anything I've seen, other than like the Metroid Prime 4. But like the way they did the splash screen was fucking awesome. And it's something I never thought I would get, something I didn't even know I wanted. But just the way they did it, I just thought it was like a cool shout out to like original fans. I had my original Xbox. I didn't get a 360 till like 2012, just because I didn't have enough money. I was just like grinding on like Halo 1, Halo 2, like some just janky ass Xbox games. I think that's such a cool thing that they did to bring that to backwards compatibility. Still one of the coolest features I think like that Microsoft has. So that's gonna be my pick.
Where can people find you online if they wanted to?
My Twitter is Captain X Casual. I don't really tweet much. I'm kind of just like spectating. I write for groundpunch.com. They're a cool group of guys. I just started recently. I only have like one review up, but I'm trying to write a lot this summer. So
What did you review?
I reviewed Logan. Phenomenal.
What'd you
movie.
think? Okay.
I thought it was great. 9 out of 10.
Nice.
I cried
Sweet.
twice.
Thank you guys so much
So did I.
for
That
coming
movie
on.
sucks.
Really appreciate it. Welcome Ian. Welcome Alex.
What's up?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, to Moises, to Joel, to Dylan, and to the two Chris's. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll catch up with you guys later, but you guys can peace out if you want to now.
right,
Or if you
thank
don't
you.
want to, you can still peace out. But,
Take it easy, guys.
but yeah, take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Moises, answer my calls.
For those listening, we're still here. We got Alex. We got Ian.
I do answer your
Alex
call.
is outside jogging. This is gonna be really horrible for the listeners.
Wait, is he actually jogging?
No, I was running
I
across
don't
the
know what he's
street.
doing.
Oh, God.
Okay.
But I'm gonna
Well,
send. I'm
I'm
gonna go ahead and
answer
send
my calls.
Jordan in them.
Answer
Jordan
my
and Cam in them. But welcome, guys. How you guys doing?
Moises, why do you answer my calls?
Why do I answer your calls?
Why don't you answer my calls?
Every time you've called me, I've answered. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a lie. I called you yesterday.
Did you call me yesterday?
I also sent you like 10 text messages about Persona 5. You didn't answer them. Anyway, what's up, everybody? I'm Ian Prichel. I'm from Japan, and I'm tired.
AKA Griffin Guccio with glasses. Not that he gets a haircut.
Oh my God.
I wish I was that handsome.
Y'all are just making references that nobody understands.
Everybody gets it. What are you talking about? Also, is it optional that we leave, or like, do I have to leave right now, or?
How many people do we have? We have Jordan.
I'm about to leave. I just came on to talk about something.
No, I mean, I guess you could chill if you want.
Hey, Jordan.
I still need to send a link to Cam.
Okay.
What are we even talking about? Where do we start getting naked?
Boy.
How much do we get naked?
We talked about this. We can't get naked. I don't know if you missed that part.
Oh man, that's lame.
I'm taking off
I'm
my
outta
shirt
here.
right now.
Nice. I just
Do it,
sent
Moises.
Cam a link. Let's continue talking about E3. So, Alex wanted to talk about some stuff.
Alex wanted to say something.
Are you in the position to talk about some stuff? Because you're like outside getting exercise.
Give
right
me
now.
2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Go to someone else.
Let's kill 2 minutes for him.
Alex looks like backstage at a wrestling event. Like,
Yo, we're not putting this up on the podcast feed, are we?
yeah, we are.
Oh,
we are.
awesome. This is gonna be terrible quality.
No, it's gonna be horrible quality, but they'll be fine. This is an optional podcast, you don't need to listen to this one. If you're with us live, let me see. I haven't checked chat in a second, so let me see what people are saying in chat. I saw y'all roasting my freaking my iPod. First of all,
Were they really?
first of all,
That's great.
don't be mad because you ain't me and you ain't got that freshness right here. Look, this right here is an iPod Classic generation 5.5. It's either 5 or 5.5. I'm not sure which, but it's fresh.
So what, is it like the last one that they ever released?
I think like second to last one probably.
Okay.
But I need an iPod. That's how I listen to my music. I don't like listening to the music through phone. I don't like streaming music. I have to like have my music downloaded, and like I have to be able to listen to it natively.
Yeah, you can do that. You can download your music on Spotify on
That is
Apple.
also true. This is also true. But also, I don't like. I don't know. I want my music and my everything else to be separate. There's something that doesn't feel right
I mean, I
about
get you.
listening to music on my phone.
I kind of get you, but also it's kind of weird. But you know,
It-
I
it is
respect
weird.
that.
I'm a classic
That's-
man.
is that the iPod you used during KFL?
Yeah. Yeah. it's
Yeah,
my
I was
iPod.
I was gonna question you about that on the line, but I figured I'd better just leave it because also you were
Oh, yeah, I would have knocked you out.
playing music.
If I saw you face to face. Yo, speaking
There
of
it is,
laughs,
boys. I made
Jordan,
it.
what's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. How's your E3 been? Like, you're not at E3, but I mean, we've all kind of experienced E3 in a very deep way this week, with some hot reveals. What is your hot reveal?
I have two. One that I just like genuinely like did a little backflip in my living room, which was Skyrim VR.
Yeah, that seems.
Because I'm all about it. Like, hopefully it controls right, but as if it does, I'm gonna
was
sink
very, like,
so
out of
much
left
time
field.
into it.
I did not expect.
Oh
it.
yeah, I really I feel like we should have, but I didn't even think about it considering they announced they were doing the Fallout 4 VR, and then the Doom. So it could have been predicted, but I had not thought about it for even a second, and so I flipped shit.
Yeah.
Skyrim's ability to get people hyped 6 years later continues to astound me because that game is all right.
That game is not just all right.
Skyrim?
There's a special feeling that I get in my testes when
Yeah.
that logo pops up when you're in that carriage. My God. Oh,
I think
it
that's
feels
I think it's like you should get those checked out.
good.
Yo,
More
if
than anything,
you're
I think you should get
listening-
them checked out.
If you're listening to this through the podcast, I need you to go to the video version and just watch Alex Van Aken just walk.
We here, boys. What's up,
Oh shit! Back at it. Back at it. Again,
I'm ready to
Krispy Kreme.
talk now.
Oh, Alex Van Aken just looks like backstage footage for like some like behind the scenes video.
Some found
like a-
footage shit.
Yeah.
Dan Reichert Periscope.
It's like here in my garage.
No, like literally, Alex is gonna keep running, and then you're just gonna see like the door break open of Blessing's apartment. He's gonna be, "I'm here. It's ready to go. This is my website now."
We made it,
Surprise,
boys.
motherfucker!
We made it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So let me
nice.
to catch people up. I want to reintroduce you guys because I haven't been saying last names and like that might confuse people. So Jordan, of course, is Jordan Town, famous
Hello.
for being on the Game Over Greggy show, the best guest
Oh,
on there.
Congratulations. My little heart can't take that.
Oh yeah, no, you had a really great episode.
thank you,
Moises Taveras, of course, Platana Ranger.
Back like I never left because I didn't.
Nobody who listens to the podcast knows who Ian Purcell is. Dylan, are you still here, or is your picture just here?
I'm here in spirit and also in audio, so yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Dylan
My spirit
Tierney
can
is still
talk.
here. We got Admiral Chris Nelson still here, and we got Alex Van Aken. Alex Van Aken said he's ready to talk, and he's looking like he's about to drop some bombs.
Oh yeah.
All right. 2 games that you guys need to keep an eye out that I saw like nobody give any love towards. Number 1, it was
swear
the
to
PC
last
gaming
night.
show. It's the PC gaming show, but it's coming to consoles. It's called Tunic.
Tunic, yes.
Thank you. You got me, Moise. Thank you. Tunic is essentially a low poly art style Zelda game. It's like gorgeous. That's all I'm gonna say. Go watch the trailer. It's a minute long. Then I think you're gonna love it. Like the aesthetic pulled me in. It was just very eye catching. The music's awesome. The gameplay looks actually pretty solid, pretty tight. And I know tight doesn't really describe I mean, it's whatever. It's a word. But it looks really fun. It looks really kind of like it has some complex movement and some blocks and some parries, and it looks really fun. So look at Tunic, and then the last one, go look at Ashen. It was announced on the Xbox stage.
Ashy? What?
Looks fucking awesome.
Me and Alex
What you
are
trying
right
to say,
there.
Alex? What you trying to say about people being ashy?
There you go. Keep blessing,
I mean,
blessing
I'm
it
really
in the
ashy.
corner.
I'm just white, so you can't see it.
Always up in here. No, I'm playing.
Donald Trump. Okay, Beast. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh no, no.
Hey, that's what they call me, so I might as well embrace it.
We have to shut down OK Beast now.
No, it's all good.
My-
Dude, this is nothing. We did a racial draft 2 weeks ago.
I remember I was a part of it.
And that
I
was
was
very
shocked
uncomfortable,
that
and
day.
I'm still seeing the repercussions. People are tweeting me about it, and it makes me feel uncomfortable all over again. Yeah, look up Ashen. It's essentially Dark Souls combat.
Mhm.
Some reviewers who have played it at E3 this week said it's a little slow, But that really hasn't deterred me from wanting to play that game. I've actually got a video going up tomorrow morning on the game, and it's essentially Dark Souls in a shared open world, almost Journey-esque, where you can run into random players that you don't know, and you cannot communicate via voice. You can only use gestures, and you can choose to solve puzzles together, to fight people together, or you can go your separate way. You can even bring those people back to like your little outpost, and they become NPCs in your town, and like they can become blacksmiths and stuff like that. So, super dope game, Ashen, and then Tunic as well looks really good. And that's all I have to say.
I hadn't even heard of Tunic, so that's cool. That sounds
It was
dope.
at the PC show. That's why you didn't hear about it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of games that were announced that look awesome. Looks like there's a bunch of cars rolling up on me now, so I'm probably going to get off of here. But those were the takes I wanted to drop.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you for the takes.
Congratulations on having them hot takes.
Watch out for the cars.
All right, I'm going to mute my mic. You can watch
Rolling up.
All right. Peace out, Alex. Or are you still going to be here, or are you just like...
He's just muted.
I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to order Taco Bell. You can watch me do that.
Okay, sweet.
Ask the Taco Bell lady about E3. I want to hear her takes.
All right, I'll see what she looks like.
All right, who here has the hottest take of E3?
Are you kidding me? I walked all the way here and it's closed.
We watched you walk for like a good half an hour.
I think that Alex going to Taco Bell is like the next Shakespearean novel that we all need to write.
The hottest thing from E3 is just Taco Bell closing at 7 p.m.
What a Shakespearean tale.
Just walking in that bright sun.
I'm gonna go back and
I
get my
squinted
car.
the whole time. That's amazing.
I mean, my hot take was disassembled. My hot take was disassembled on Twitter by Alex, so I no longer have hot takes.
What was your hot take?
You talking about the Life is Strange one?
Ian, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
No, the life is strange. The life is strange thing is not even a hot take. That's how I feel exactly. It's
You don't like
true.
prequels. Okay, let's explain your hot take before we get into it.
Okay. Life is Strange prequel is fucking boring. Why would I want to go backwards in a story that ends on a cliffhanger where the entire world is going to explode unless I have a lesbian relationship with my best friend?
Man, spoilers. First of all. Second of all, well, that's not really spoilers because that is very
because that's a joke. That's also a joke.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, it's the same problem I have with Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that hey, let's go back and talk about what's really important. Rachel, whoever the fuck, who cares about Rachel? I care about the world.
I care about Rachel. Fuck you.
I care about Rachel.
But okay. In order of operations of the story, right? Yeah, Rachel, it's cool. I want to learn about who Rachel was and her connection to that one character. Again, I'm trying to not spoil it as much as I kind of already spoiled it, but I'm okay. So yeah, it's cool to see that possible connection to that story character, right? But at the end of the day, it ends on a massive cliffhanger. Why the fuck would I want to go back and look at these characters that are sub characters when the story ends in this crazy ass way? And also, are there going to be any time travel things in it? Are there going to be any weird powers in it? Because if so,
no.
Wait, are you going to see Max going back to the past or whatever?
No.
So then who the fuck cares? I'll go watch Degrassi if I want to see kids complain about shit that no one cares about.
Isn't that that's the Gone Home thing of most games about teen drama. I won't say most games, but there's a lot of games out there that have no supernatural things. It'll just be a straight up just chill story that you're experiencing.
No, but what I'm saying is that the whole story of Life is Strange is that there's this weird sci-fi element. The last chapter of that game is a massive drug trip. It's fucking crazy. So why would you end on this high note and then on this crazy cliffhanger and then go back to square one and even remove one of the mechanics that was the coolest mechanic of the entire game? What's the point? Why would you do that?
I feel for me, the story of Life is Strange was less about the powers and more about the characters and specifically the relationship between the two best friends or whatever you wouldn't call them.
You explore that narrative using the powers. There's again, spoilers for Life is Strange. Anyone leave the chat or stop listening because I'm going to spoil a small part of it.
Spoil the whole thing.
Okay, everyone dies. Turns out Max is actually Osama bin Laden. She takes off the mask at the end, and she was Osama. We never killed him, and it was this white girl. No, so what happened? The coolest thing about that game is that you're able to go back in time at this pivotal moment and and change the outcome and see how that butterfly affects the entire rest of this person's life, right? And like that is a cool concept. That's an interesting concept. But like to go from that, right, and then go back to like, oh, hey, now we're going to see these characters before we met them and see what the drama that happened. But like, yeah, that might be interesting to like a Life is Strange fan, but like to the layman's person, like, okay, so you're going to take away the powers, you're going to take away the cool situation that we left off on, like.
But I mean, that's the thing. I don't feel like Before the Storm is supposed to be for the layman. I think it's total fan service. That's the thing. It's totally for the fans of Life is Strange, and most of them, as far as I know, since none of us really got the story of Chloe and Rachel's relationship, all of us want to see more of that. So I mean,
but an entire game, fam. But an entire game.
I mean, it's not bigger
like
than Life is Strange.
It's like a standalone thing.
3 episodes.
It's like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of episodes.
Cameron, are you going to Taco Bell too?
Are you
Oh my
outside?
god. Cameron and Alex are gonna go meet up.
Yeah, no, it's not a meetup. Like I told Bless on Twitter, like I was on my way home while you guys were podcasting, so I literally just got off the train, about to hop in my car.
I just
But,
laughed so loud in public.
Oh, hey, there's Alex Van Aken. Hi there, buddy.
I just laughed so high and loud. I was like,
I literally just want their 2 screens to just like push together, and then they just both become one person. They're both walking the same way or whatever.
I don't know if it's like this on your guys' screen, but on my screen they're like next to each other.
It looks like they're looking for each other right now.
Oh,
Wait, Cameron, wait, walk the other way, and then Alex walk the
Hold
other
on.
way, and then like
y'all
go
look like
towards
long
each
lost
other.
brothers that are about to find each other.
No, the other way, Alex, the other way.
In a world.
But,
Oh my god.
exactly. But anyway, yeah, like I don't know. I
Yo,
just feel
Cam,
like
mute your mic for a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, not a
but,
problem.
Yeah,
Mad
let's
Max going on in the
unmute it
background.
when you're gonna talk because there's like background noise.
But yeah, like I don't know that the concept of going back after getting all those cool things like frustrates me, and I would like. I don't know. I feel like I would rather have like a Life is Strange 2, or like have a lot of people were thinking that like the Life is Strange was going to be this thing where it was like the Twilight Zone, where you would have a thing where like, all right, this is Life is Strange 1. Life is Strange 2 is going to be about like some kid that has super speed or something like that, or like or some kid that like can switch personalities with people
I
or
think that's
whatever.
what they're doing though, because Don't Nod is working on Life is Strange 2 or whatever, and from the language that they've been using, from the language that Deck 9 has been using about Before the Storm, if you get the deluxe edition, you get a farewell episode for Max, and they've been calling it like the last time we'll see Max. So I think after this, Max and Chloe and Rachel's story is done, and Don't Nod is still making a sequel that'll probably be something.
Wait, so
entirely
they're gonna
different.
leave? Wait, they're gonna leave on that cliffhanger of the first episode or of the last
I-
episode?
It was not a cliffhanger
It
though.
depends. What
Yes, it
cliffhanger?
was. It ended.
What
It
ending?
was a definitive ending. I love
What?
that ending.
What ending did you do?
The one
Without
where the
ending.
entire tornado is coming out and murdering everyone.
Okay, so
Oh, you did the
chose
one-
Chloe
ending.
over the town.
I'm a bit curious, Ian. Did you also refuse to take her off life support?
Oh no, I didn't play it. I watched the Let's Play. I watched Jesse Cox do it.
Okay. So I always ask that question because, spoilers for Life is Strange. You fuckers should have already played it.
It was free on PlayStation Plus. They should have played it.
Yeah. So at the end in episode, I think it's 6 episodes or 5.
I think it's 5.
Five, yeah.
Okay. So in the second to last episode, you go to an alternate timeline where Chloe, it doesn't matter that her dad wasn't in the accident. Somebody in the family had to be in an accident. And in this alternate timeline, it was Chloe. So Chloe's like super paralyzed and super sad, and she begs Max to take her off life support. And
that was
and you make
fucked
and you
up,
can.
by the way.
Oh, it was so good. Like I was just like I told her I was like I can't do that, and she's like begging you to do it. At the very end, it's the same question. She's asking you to let her go, and for me, the very if you choose to like let Chloe sacrifice herself, because that's what you're really doing. You're making the selfless decision of letting her do something that you don't want her to do, to save the town that even though she says that she hates it, she loves it on a really deep level. And it's an amazing ending because it's like if you choose that ending, then you literally have to sit back and watch her get shot and die and bleed out in the bathroom, and it's horrifying. It is a horrifying thing.
Which
Did you see the true ending where Max actually has to kill her herself and then rips open her throat with a butter knife and then drinks the blood?
Nope, did not catch that ending, Ian. Did not catch
It's
that ending.
it's the true ending. The Konami code at the beginning part of the game. That's what happens.
So piggybacking off of what Cameron just said, to me, my biggest takeaway from Life is Strange, and I'm surprised this isn't like most people's takeaway.
Oh,
is,
I apologize. Blessing. I wasn't. Is it okay if I finish?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. And finish.
I just don't want to lose my place where I was at.
All right, go ahead.
Because I will do that. I'm a forgetful son of a bitch. So what ended up happening specifically for me is that I felt it was like a really great story of how Max would have felt terrible if she didn't have that power to spend. Basically, you get to spend one last week with your best friend, and then it's like a great way to say goodbye. So,
yeah, like to me, I think my biggest takeaway from that story is the idea that the whole game is a game about how Chloe needs to die. Like the whole game, like there's multiple moments where she should have died, and Max just keeps saving her over and over and over and over again, and the world is trying to kill her. Which is to me why the Save the Bay ending. That's confusing because Bay means two things. Save Arcadia Bay ending. That's why I think that's like the correct ending.
It's Bay or Bay. No, that's
Bay or Bay.
But yeah, no, like so like to me, that game. Like once you choose that ending, the ending I consider to be the definitive ending, I think that's just the end. Like the whole resolution of the game is Chloe dying, and you come across these moments the whole time. Like when you go back in time and she's asking you to pull her off life support, or like when she's about to die in the beginning, or when you have multiple moments where she should have been gone, but Max just keeps using her powers over and over again to try and stop that. But that's not what the world wants. And so once the world kind of gets what it gets, to me that's why to me there's no cliffhanger, because the world finally, in my ending at least, got what it wanted. And for that game to go anywhere further, I couldn't see. Like I feel like
I want the DLC. I want the DLC where Max becomes a Time Lord and travels back to the beginning of time. And kills
that'd be pretty good. But no, I have to agree with you on that
gets
one,
Gandhi. They hold hands.
Yeah, I really have to agree with you on that one, Bless. Not just because of that, but also because. If anybody's ever seen any Final Destination movie, you know that shit's not ending.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna keep coming. Chloe, the longer Chloe's alive, the more the world is going to get bigger and bigger and trying to kill her, which is what that storm was. Like it's like oh you fucked up.
Yeah, people always think that like Arcadia Bay's destruction was like the last gate they had to cross to stop her from dying. Just like no, the more she does it, like just the stronger the storm will get. Like eventually it will, like she will have actually just ended the world for Chloe.
So
yep, and
I'm laughing because
oh go ahead.
Sorry, I'm totally derailing.
Are you?
This became a Life is Strange spoiler cast, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so sorry.
It's also a Fast and
I
Furious
just
movie.
full screen Alex, and I'm just like watching Alex driving. It is killing me.
Cameron, you and Alex are the next episode of Life is Strange. My
Oh
God.
no, Alex!
All right, I'm gonna unfull screen him.
God.
But yeah, do we have anything else on Life is Strange before we wrap it? Because we should probably talk about some other E3 things.
Fucking play the game. That's all you have to know. Play the game.
That too.
This is do you guys talk
Play
about
the
how
game,
the Saga strike ruined the chance for the voice actress to reclaim her role?
Yeah,
Wait, what? When this happened?
Ashley Birch.
Yeah,
Not
Ashley
coming back.
Birch, the voice actress for Chloe, because of the SAG strike, she's not coming back for Chloe. She's writing and like consulting for Chloe's character. She's not actually voicing.
Well, it's because
That
the lines
sounds-
have already been recorded. They missed production. She missed the production date before everything was signed off on. So even though that was the case, even though she couldn't be an actor, like a voice actress for it, they said, well, we really think that your take on Chloe is special, and like we need you to like basically help us write the story. And so she came in and did like story consultation and character consultation for Chloe. So,
All right, wait, guys. I actually got to go because I have to finish this review for Persona 5. So if I don't finish the game in the next few days, I'm going to kill myself. So good luck, boys.
Good luck.
you'll never see it coming.
The dungeons are bad.
Okay, don't even get me started. I have like sent not blessing. I sent Moises like 400 texts yesterday while I was finishing up the game about like why like things I don't like about it, and yeah.
And I did not answer because I was asleep.
And it's still better than Zelda.
That's the story of Ian's
Bam.
life. Is people not
Well, it's
because
still
everybody-
better than Zelda.
Whoa!
All right.
Wait, what's better than Zelda?
All right, I'm
And
leaving.
shut your mouth.
Wait,
All
what?
right, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Oh,
no.
No,
Wait,
you can't
my
do
screen.
that.
My
You should
screen
stop this.
wait, time out. My screen stopped at Jordan, even though he wasn't saying anything. It was just him going. the computer like auto somehow. Everyone else was talking, but it just went straight to Jordan, and that was the only thing that happened. Wow,
Man.
Thanks, Google AI. I appreciate that.
Ian's about to
Anyway,
use-
boys, have fun talking. I love all of you. For the guys that I haven't met in real life, I love you as well.
Love you
Moises,
too.
I hate you.
I will FaceTime you soon.
Eat a dick, Moises. All right, I love you guys. Bye.
Love you, Ian.
Bye.
I mean, Ian just did the equivalent of dropping a racial slur and running away. How are you gonna say? Come on, son. We ain't about that life. We don't do that here at OKBs. You're fired. Let's talk about Anthem, since that was one of the bigger releases or bigger announcements, and we haven't talked about it yet. Anthem is the new BioWare IP, and it looks interesting. Does anybody here have any thoughts on Anthem?
It looks so good.
Yes, I have a lot of thoughts, but give me a minute to get back because I just got home, so I'm going to be hopping on my computer. So
Sweet, sounds good.
Same.
all right, see you guys in a bit.
Wait, Alex, did you have something to say on? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex. Who, me or Alex?
I'm ordering Taco Bell. Give me a second.
God.
I thought he went home. I didn't know he went to another Taco Bell.
Hey there, can I get a
Oh, this dude drove across town. Oh, Jordan, go ahead. What's up with that? What's up with Anthem?
Yeah, well, I think Anthem is very exciting and very scary for BioWare in that I'm like so used to BioWare having a BioWare game, whether it be like KOTOR or Jade Empire or Mass Effect or Dragon Age. It's that RPG. You're making choices and all that. So I think this. I want to know if that has any role in the story at least. But I'm really excited to see where BioWare tries to like excel their gameplay, because this kind of game, like it seems like a Destiny or Division type kind of game. They're gonna really need to heavily rely on gameplay. So I'm excited to see if they can, get up to the task of really like getting it down.
Are you a Mass Effect person?
I am.
How are you like? Okay, so given like what Mass Effect Andromeda was, or how it was received and all that stuff. Well, first of all, did you like Mass Effect Andromeda? How did you feel about that?
I thought it was fine. I think it got a little bit too much hate. It wasn't like it didn't live up to the other games, of course, but I enjoyed it. I'm actually like just starting a second playthrough now.
I actually thought about getting it because I think Alex sent me and Ian this morning. Like it was like discounted. It was like $15 or something like that.
Oh,
Is that right,
yeah,
Alex?
I think it's.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
I would say definitely get it for $15.
I will buy it for 15 for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Uncharted is $20, and I'm still not gonna get that. But back to Anthem. Sorry, I just needed to troll real quick. How does Mass Effect Andromeda and people's like response to that and like the way that came out, how does that inflect your feelings on Anthem at all, or do you still feel like pretty confident in it?
Well, I mean, considering Andromeda was for Montreal and Edmonton is going on Anthem, I feel just fine about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because the thing is also that Montreal, like most people don't really know this, but like Montreal primarily worked on Mass Effect DLC.
Yeah.
Before like Andromeda being their first like actual full game, whereas Edmonton has been at the lead of most of their primary games. So like, and just in like the small things that you can see in the 6-minute demo of Anthem, you can tell like BioWare's top talent is there has been there working on that. So I'm totally confident that they can do that. But
I just read.
I don't want to
Jason
say too much
Schreier's
about this
whole-
because I'm actually writing a thing for you guys
yeah.
about this very thing that we're talking about right now. So I'll just save that for when I type shit later.
So Anthem looks cool because it looks like a world that I would want to explore Single player, even though it is a shared world, see the difference with like, so Destiny is, you know, the allure is, oh, I get to run around this world with my friends, which is the case with Anthem. But Anthem just seemed so much like, it seemed like a single player world, an environment, and like just a story. Granted, we only saw 10 minutes of it, but it just seemed a lot more interesting from like just a world building perspective than Destiny. And on top of that, yeah, the cherry on top is I can play in that with my friends. Whereas I feel like with the other games, it's the opposite. It's, oh, you get to run around with your friends, and there's a cool world. Like that's our secondary focus. Whereas I feel like just from the outside looking in, the world building seems to be, just to me, the priority.
Yeah, it seemed like that to me too. I hope it's that way because I've always preferred, or not preferred, but you know, when I get home from like a busy day of work or whatever, I sit home with a single player game. Don't want to like deal with getting everyone together for a game. So like, if it's like more single player focused, I'm all about that. And then you can also bring in people and have fun.
Dude, I'm 0% like a BioWare person. Like I never really got into Mass Effect and Dragon Age, but Anthem actually looks like the game that may pull me into that developer because the aesthetic looks sick. Like I'm a fan of sci-fi. I don't know why I couldn't do Mass Effect. I think it was just bad timing. Like I feel like if I try to go back in, or if they remastered them or something, I might be able to get back into them.
But you mean to tell me that the idea of banging blue aliens didn't draw you into Mass Effect?
I mean, no, man, they weren't thick enough, man. They weren't thick. But Anthem, though, like the part of in the trailer where the dude jumped off the cliff and started flying. At that moment, I was like, okay, I like this. Like I don't know what this is. But it looks.
That was a hell of an E3 moment.
Yeah, like that was one of the moments where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna remember this. Like when I think about this game, what I'm gonna remember is like dude flying.
And I saw some critics say that it looked like it was on rails, but to me, it looked like pretty freeform.
I doubt it was true. Like it's a trailer.
Well, yeah,
so, like,
sure.
Yeah, and so I think that probably added to like the idea that like it looks like it's on rails. Like it's probably the fact that they polished it up so much that like it just gave off that kind of feel. I assume.
Yeah, but I don't think the game would work if it was on rails.
Yeah,
what they're going for. So
also at one point, like you're flying and you like. I don't think the on rails part would bring you underwater and back up.
Yeah.
Like I totally think like the flying is free from on your controller.
Yeah, I just want to point out because I saw that on Twitter a couple times from notable critics. So that was weird.
Can we talk about Wolfenstein 2?
Yes.
Wolfenstein
I'm gonna hop
trailer.
off Wolfenstein.
Okay, sweet. Peace out.
I love you.
Love you.
Moises, I think your microphone's like dying.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, or I guess now it's good. Somebody sounded like they're an alien.
Yeah, Moses, I think your mic might have been just like rubbing up against your Terra Spear or
Sound
something.
like sound like Zod.
Yeah, I think you put it in your mouth. I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh, that's gonna be
Oh dear. Oh goodness.
I haven't checked chat in a second. Let me see what people are saying. Sean says, "Where's the subtitles at, homie? This is live. Don't make me drop kick you next time I see you." All right, let's get into Wolfenstein 2. So, did you guys feel the same way about that trailer that I felt? Because like I saw that trailer, and Cameron's back by the way. I saw that trailer, and I was like, "Yo, that's the greatest trailer I've ever seen in my life." Referring to Wolfenstein 2.
We're on Wolfenstein. Okay, cool.
How did you guys feel about that Wolfenstein 2 trailer? And did this trailer convince you to either like get this game or maybe like play the previous game or have some sort of investment into this franchise?
Well, I played mostly through the first one. I don't know why I didn't finish it. It's one of those things where I just kind of fell off. But it totally made me want to go back and play the first one again.
Interesting. Same here. I started it yesterday because I owned it and I didn't realize I owned it, and I heard it was on sale, and so I went to buy it, and it was like purchased already, and I was like, oh well,
nice. You got it for free.
Yeah. I mean, I paid for it at some moment, but
what do you think of the opening so far, Plus?
The opening of Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I only played like the first like 15 minutes of it because I had to like edit some videos. So far, I think it's all right. I know people generally have or not people generally actually, like there's certain personalities I listen to that like seem to hate the opening, but then there are other personalities that seem to love the opening.
Mhm.
And so it seems like people are pretty divided on it. I haven't like gotten to any point where I was like, oh, this is great, or oh, this is bad. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, this is like a video game.
Yeah,
opening.
I was super indifferent about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel so far.
Yeah, it was totally fine for me. I've been sold on Wolfenstein 2 since I marathon through the New Order and the Old Blood over like my Christmas break 2 years ago. So I didn't even need a trailer. All I really needed was a title and a release date.
Yeah.
And then I got that and then some. So yeah, I'm fucking there. Also, Nazis drinking milkshakes in America is a weird thing, but I like The Man in the High Castle, which I haven't seen the second season of, but like that idea, that general idea is intriguing to me. And the thing about that is it like through the show I can't really explore that world much, so being able to actually be BJ in like fucking Nazi colonized America, it sounds great to me. Also, apparently the game opens with you like hurt from the ending of the New Order, and so BJ for like the opening level is like gunning down Nazis in a wheelchair. So
I saw that in the trailer.
That was awesome. That
that
was a really awesome. They catch you in a bathroom, and you're in a wheelchair, and you have to murder them in the bathroom.
That just seems like an incredible opening compared to what we got in the New Order, which was fine but nothing great. Which I get some of the criticism, but it wasn't something that put me off. But yeah, if you start me on a wheelchair blowing Nazis away, I'm there.
So that trailer to me was crazy. One, because it was a 9-minute long trailer. Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, overly long. And they jumped around too.
Yeah, but like it was long, but it was entertaining the whole time, and so I'm fine with it. Like, I described it as this: like it was a reveal trailer, an announcement trailer, a freaking gameplay trailer, a cinematic trailer, and a launch trailer, like all in one. Like maybe not a launch trailer because I launched yet, but like it felt like it was like every single trailer just in one trailer. Like it jumped around a lot, and it jumped around from like you had like the opening thing where it was more of like it was very much like a live action kind of thing of like I can't remember if it was live action or not actually, but it was like
it was live action with the dog in there.
Yeah. So you got that thing.
The whole like Panzer like come to life that was there. Yeah,
I think it was called Lucy.
Lucy, yeah.
Yeah, so you had like that thing, and then it transitioned to like cutscenes and transitioned to gameplay moments and I don't know where their mindset was when creating this trailer, but I absolutely loved it. Just in the fact that it was so engaging throughout.
They were on the acid that the character at the end took when they were making
that
the
was
trailer.
it even had that ending thing where it was like, what the heck? And the story looks so
confused
interesting.
the hell out of me.
Yeah,
that ending thing confused the hell out of me. I thought I was going to segue into a new game. So
did I.
Like no idea what's going on.
Like for the first 2 minutes of the trailer, I also thought it was Fallout. Like I thought it was like a Fallout New Orleans or something like that.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I wasn't familiar with Wolfenstein, and so I didn't really know. But yeah, like the trailer got me it got me super interested into the story. Like there was the part where the dude's like having an argument up in this like upstairs room with a guy sitting there with, I think it's BJ sitting at a desk and he's arguing with somebody, and then like you just see gunshots coming through the window over and over again, and they're just still having this conversation even though like there's like people like shooting in the window, and it's like
it's like an interrogation going on while there's a war raging right outside the fucking building. Yeah,
and like they showed moment after moment like that. Like there was the part where I think it was BJ who was coming up the elevator, and he saw like these two people, like this lady and this other dude, and they had this whole moment where like she like faked him out with a grenade and all this stuff, and they showed the game. They showed so much personality, and as somebody who isn't familiar with Wolfenstein and hasn't played the New Order, like I'm about to play the New Order because I want that in my life. And I don't know if the New Order has as much personality as that trailer has, but I'll play the New Order just so I can have context for Wolfenstein 2 because I'm sold completely.
I think it does. I think that game's really, really awesome.
It does. It doesn't have it. I feel like they definitely nailed the tone more in the trailer for Wolfenstein 2. But there's a lot of you're gonna come across a cast of characters very much like this. You're not gonna get too much time with them, but you're definitely gonna kind of get to know them, and you'll start to see how they got from there to where they are now in the trailer. And you'll just also recognize, like, if you just heard like some of the names in the Wolfenstein 2 trailer, you'll recognize some of the people in the New Order.
Nice. What else happened at E3 that we can talk about? Like, what are some standouts that we haven't touched on yet?
We just talked about the Shadow of the Colossus remake,
right?
Because that was the other big one. That was like the reveal. Besides, like, Skyrim VR was the one I was most excited about, but that one was the one that like blew me
That
out
legit
of the
made
water.
me emotional. Like I watched that in at E3 experience in the theater, and that was like a very much a get hype moment for me, where I started like yelling in the theater, and I was like probably the loudest person in the theater. Like I was super hype, and that's because like Shadow of the Colossus is one of my like top 5 for me, like top 5 favorite games of all time, and that was the game. I think the way I talk about the game is that is the game that introduced me to the idea that games are just more than like this toy thing. Like
games are art.
It is, yeah. Like it was the game that introduced me to the idea that like, oh, dude, games could be like art. Like from the visuals to the way that the story is told to the music that was beautiful. Like that game hit me on so many levels. And it got me more invested into games than I've ever been before that moment. And so like this one, I think Shuhei described it as a remake. Like whether it's a remake or a remaster, like it looks
confirmed that it's a remake, not a remaster.
Yeah, it's a top to bottom remake with the PS4 engine and a brand new user interface.
Thank God. That means it'll actually play well.
Yeah. So here's my thing about those games. I haven't played The Last Guardian, but I have played Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Both of them bored the shit out of me.
Because you're a boring person.
Moises, my son. My son.
I'm sorry.
How old are you, Moises?
Also, they just kind of just don't control all that well either. So
Moises, how old are you? And what year did you play these games in?
I'm 20, and I played them a few years ago. Like when they, I think.
So
when
you're complaining
they
about the controls of a game that you played a few years ago, but the game came out in like 2005.
I mean, okay, the controls are just a small problem for me. My general problem is just that I found those games boring.
Okay,
it's not even the controls.
Out here just
this is what happens when you don't. This is what happens when you don't have a father around for 20 years.
Jesus, man, we just got racial commentary up in here.
Oh, what? No, I was talking about the fact that I only just met him in San Francisco. As I am his father.
Oh man.
I really need to make sure that is a very clear point that I was making another joke about being his father, not a commentary about minority families, because minority families can be strong and strong and supportive.
All right.
Families.
What's the post editing on this podcast?
I'm sorry, I like walked into that one. I didn't need to take it to a racial place, but I was like, this is a perfect moment where I can take it to a racial place.
I was just not expecting it. I was just like, the fear that struck my heart all of a sudden when I realized that you had said that. I was like, no.
It's a me thing. Like it's what I do.
I know it's what you do. I just wasn't expecting it. I didn't realize I had walked right into it.
Here's the beautiful thing about Shadow of the Colossus is that it's a game that's all about boss battles, right? But and like that's the only thing you're doing in that game. There's 16 of them. There's 16 creatures that are like 1,000 times bigger than you, right? And your whole goal in the game is to find each of these like creatures that like should demolish you, and you have to go out there and kill them all. Like just from the premise, it actually kind of reminds me of the Breath of the Wild premise, because like Breath of the Wild is a game that drops you in and is like, hey, destroy Ganon, and you look at Ganon from a distance and you're like, oh, Ganon will straight up just mess me up if I go anywhere near him. Like look at that. And Shadow of the Colossus to me does that 16 times, where it drops you in and is like, hey, go out, find this thing, kill it, and you arrive at this thing and it's just this monstrous like bigger than life sort of thing, and you have to climb it and you have to kill it, and you do it right. And like even in between the moments, right, in between like the moments they probably consider boring, which is like trying to find the thing, like making your way to the Colossus takes some time, right?
I think I managed to get to 2 of them before I just quit the game.
Oh my gosh! In those moments, that's the thing. Like, were you using your sword? Were you pressing circle to use the light to like find the Colossus?
I
think you're messing up.
No, yeah, I was.
Okay. Because like,
but
even-
no, like that, like taking down the Colossus itself was like, it was fine. I didn't feel any great thing come out of my
It's-
triumph over them.
Yeah, this is the thing. I think it's because you've been spoiled by the so all these games that have come out since the Shadow of the Colossus have been so directly inspired. Shadow of the Colossus really was one of those first games that made you feel like it's me against this thing that I couldn't possibly beat. And not only that, but in Shadow of the Colossus, you have a bow, you have a sword, and you have your horse. That's it.
Epona.
And also, I think
Not Epona.
Argo.
It's actually it's aggro. It's aggro. Aggro.
oh man, the ending. So
The
okay,
ending's
I'm not
so
gonna say anything about it, but like,
I'll
That's one of those games you can't
likely
spoil.
play Shadow of
Yeah.
the Colossus remake. I will likely play it.
Yeah, same here.
piggyback off of
It's,
Cameron actually, like, in the fact that the game is like if you play Journey, boys, did you like Journey?
I did like Journey.
Yeah, Journey is a game that I'm like positive inspired directly by Shadow of the Colossus. Like, it's one of those games. And I was like making my way towards this. Like, Shadow of the Colossus is it's a game about bosses, but it's also a game about large empty spaces. And like you make your way towards the Colossus, but as you're doing that, you're just filled with quietness and peace and just like this large, beautiful environment. And Journey is a game that's all about like just the peace and just the beautiful environment. And also you have like your companion, just like in Shadow of the Colossus, you have your horse, which is your companion.
And in Eco, you have.
But like, yeah, and Eco, and like you look at games now, right? I think there's so many like Titan Souls, or like Titan Souls is very obvious, but like you look at a lot of games that like seem like, oh, they're trying to be art, right? Like what's the other one, Rhyme, that's about to come out, or like almost any game of that nature, like I could probably say is inspired directly by Shadow of the Colossus. Like when Shadow of the Colossus came out, you didn't have games like that. Like Shadow of the Colossus was a game that came out where like it came out amongst like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and like
yeah, I very distinctly remember it coming out. When was that? 2004.
Yeah, around that time.
I thought it was 06. I remember it being after the PS3 came out.
No,
Really?
it was it was pre PS3.
Yeah.
It wasn't much earlier than PS3, but it was
Might have been 2005.
Yeah, I think it might have been 2005. I'm trying to remember if I was like. I'm trying to remember because it came out, and then after it came out, I have actually like, and the reason why Shadow of the Colossus is so special to me is because that was a game that my friend bought a PS2 Slim, so he had that. So it came out after the PS2 Slim.
It came out in fall 2005.
There you go. So my friend he bought this game, and he would literally just whenever we were going to hang out, it'd be like, oh, you know what would be fun right now? And he'd pull out Shadow of the Colossus and hand the controller to somebody who'd never played it. And we would watch them and play it. And it wasn't like oh, this is so funny. Somebody who doesn't know how to play video games is playing this game. It was seeing somebody experience a very intrinsic and very special moment where they were figuring things out. And there's something very intrinsic about it. The game is difficult for a lot of people who play video games. Like as far as the controls go, because the controls aren't atypical, especially for PlayStation. However, if you put it in the hands of somebody who's never played a video game before, it's actually pretty intrinsic to like how they think a person would move and work in a video game. It's an odd thing to see. At least in my experience, that was the case. But I'm no expert on like motor science and interaction with Shadow of the Colossus by any stretch of the imagination. But it was an amazing experience, and it was so interesting to see. At one point, he handed the controller to somebody's dad, and his dad had like old school cop. Never touched a video game in his life, and he was just like playing it, and it was a very special moment. And I'm pretty sure after some of the guys let their girlfriends play it, they went home and fucked. So
nice.
That's a beautiful thing. But no, like Last Guardian, like to me, like I really loved The Last Guardian, and a huge complaint about that game was the controls, right? Like you're pressing triangle to jump, like the character feels awkward to handle. But to me, like
triangle to jump in that game.
Yeah, it's like Zelda.
Well, I mean, wasn't that a fairly regular thing in the PS2 era?
It was.
Yeah.
X was not jump in the PS2 era. X was confirmed.
Yeah.
X was confirmed. Square or circle was usually used to attack, and jump was triangle. In the
Fuck,
PS2
you're
era.
right. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but part of why I like The Last Guardian, and I think I like Breath of the Wild for this too, was that like the control, and this might be me like just talking out of my ass and like not just making stuff up, but like for me, the awkward controls kind of helps that game feel unique to me. Like when I press triangle to jump onto Trico or whatever his name is, like it doesn't feel like I'm playing your typical game, right? And like when I'm running around and my character like struggles to like climb steps, or like my character like trips and falls a little bit while he's running, like all that stuff, like the struggle behind it kind of represents, in The Last Guardian at least, like the struggle within the game of like the whole game is just this attempt to get to this place, and everything is holding you back, from like how small you are to like how injured your animal is, like whatever. And like the struggle I felt was part of it. And for me, like the controls played into that a bit. And that's partly why, I don't know if that's why I liked Zelda. I think for Zelda, it just made the game feel like just a bit more unique. And I know that's like a weird justification for awkward controls or like weird control schemes, but for me, it somewhat works. Like somewhat worked. Like in Zelda, like I hated it for the first 5 hours, but like at hour 6, I was like, oh, dude, let's do this. Like Zelda is a completely different experience. You know, partly because of the mechanics, but also because like I press triangle to jump, and I just ain't used to that. And so
it's technically not even triangle to jump. It's Y.
It's Y. Yeah, that's true. Y.
And that's a very Nintendo thing to do. Is jump Y.
Wait, is it Y or is it X on the controller?
I have no idea what it is.
It should be A, B, Y, X, or is it X, Y?
It's the opposite of Xbox. X. So I think it would be
X is at the top.
X is at the top.
Yeah, X is at the top.
Okay, so it's actually X.
Nintendo's really weird.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I haven't played Shadow of Colossus. Do you guys think I should wait for the remake or go back and play the original?
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Because from what I've seen, it looks like the exact same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God, does that look beautiful? It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Also, I can't wait to see her in that game and how beautiful she is.
Oh yeah. Huh. I'm very curious.
Also, Jordan, if you want a game similar to it that may come out before it, there's that Pray for the Gods game that got bullied into changing their name. That's kind of a Shadow of the Colossus like thing.
Pray for the Gods. What was the original?
It was a Kickstarter.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, wait, it was Pray for the Gods. Bethesda made them change their name, right?
Yeah, they changed it to PR.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I hear that, like, and from what I've seen, it looks a lot like Shadow of the Colossus. So if that comes out before that, and you're interested in at least the premise, you might want to check that out too.
I haven't played it yet either. I was gonna play on PS3, but would Pray the Gods or Pray for the Gods, whatever the fuck it's called, would it like kind of take something away to play that before Shadow of the Colossus, you think?
No. Shadow of the Colossus is a singular experience that is so visceral and it's hard to put it into words because you want to know what it is. It's art, Moises. It's art.
It is art. It is art. Elijah Shaw in the comments says,
"Yeah, I was gonna bring this up."
Oh, Eli, my other son, I love you. Wait, is that my son, Elijah?
Yes, that is. Yeah, that is.
Okay. He says, if a game doesn't hold up, is it that good? And I think a lot of great games don't hold up.
Yeah.
Like
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
True.
I love GoldenEye, but if I played it with like some cousins and they just happened to have an N64, and I tried and it was so hard.
That game is
like,
so intrinsically bad.
To me, like the only great games that really hold up like that well are like Nintendo games because they're just really good at designing games that don't really age that much. But like a game like even Banjo-Kazooie, I played Banjo-Kazooie last year. And that game had things about it where I was like, "Oh, this is clunky." But that was my first time playing that game. It's an N64 game, but that game was also incredible. Like people love that game, and I played it. I still love it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, aren't you a DK64 apologist?
Yes, that DK64 is one of the best games ever made. It's the
Dude, you and Barry Court me.
Hot take.
Yeah, him and Barry.
It was a great game. Me and Barry did a whole podcast.
You did. I remember the podcast. That's why I brought it up because you said Banjo-Kazooie. I was like, well, I'm opening up this
can of worms. Goddamn.
Can of worms, barrel of
can of collectibles.
Can of collectibles. Yeah.
DK64 is still Rare's best game. And Rare is like the top 3 developers of all time, and so.
Hot takes from Blessing, man.
I'm just putting that out there. I won't say top 3, but they're my top 3 favorite. I'll say that for sure. Right. Like I love Rare. But yeah, like
Are you
I think
excited
there's a lot
for their new pirate game?
No, I'm not excited for that.
He's a monster.
I'm so not excited for
Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves. Boy,
well, one,
it
I
is
don't like
time to
pirates.
be a pirate, yo.
I don't like pirates. They're so uncool to me. Like they're so lame. They sing and like they don't have. They're
They
missing
get
an
drunk
eye and a
all
leg.
day.
And like they have weird voices. They say weird things.
They're
What's
baller.
cool
They're
about
all
pirates?
Bless,
They're
bless.
hammered.
They are the like straight up G's of the sea. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's that exacerbated sigh.
I don't. I just can't with Sea of Thieves. And the thing is, like, I love Rare. Like, once again, they're one of my favorite developers. They're not my favorite. Okay. So the Rare of today is different from the Rare of back in the day, which I
Yeah,
love,
the rare
right?
of yesterday made ukulele.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Ukulele is a whole different conversation. But like Sea of Thieves, I'm not gonna say that like, oh yeah, Sea of Thieves isn't the game I want from Rare, because like it's a different Rare. Like that Rare doesn't exist anymore, right? And so that's not like that's not part of it. I mean, it might be part of it, but also like I don't see the appeal in that game. Like there's co-op, that's cool. But like,
I get to
what
be
about
a
that
pirate
game
with my bro.
strikes you as like cooler than other games, right? Like I could play Grand Theft Auto 5 online and shoot some people up and to play co-op in that. But like besides the fact that you can play with your friends, like what are you doing in that game that's
in
like
Grand Theft
so...
Auto 5, can you see another player
What the fuck?
and can you go to that ship, board it, shoot them in the face with cute little muskets?
I'm sure there's a mod for that.
And
There's a mod
you
for that.
can-
There's a mod for
you
that.
can go
There's a mod for
down,
everything.
and then you can just sink their ship. Just a
So let me tell you about this game called Skull and Bones.
The thing about like what you just said is that the thing is Sea of Thieves provides like a fantasy for people. Like people have always wanted to be pirates.
No, they haven't. No, they
What?
haven't. I can't go on that discussion. Nobody's wanted to be a pirate. Nobody. And if they wanted to be a pirate, they could play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Or
I did. I
or
played
Skull
that
and
thing
Bone.
too. Oh fuck no! Skull and Bone can rot in hell.
Are you
That
serious?
game is
I
so.
like pirates. I thought that trailer was pretty good.
Dude, that trailer was legit until they decided to announce what the game actually was.
Yeah, exactly. Holy shit.
Like, there's nothing. It's like, hey, did you guys like the ship combat? Did you just like the ship combat in Assassin's Creed 4? Like nothing else? You just want to fight other ships? And do you want to go ahead and use an RNG system to decide whether or not your boarding is successful? God, no. It's so bad. It's such a bad idea. 5v5 ship combat?
For honor with boats. Like, what are you guys
Oh.
fucking doing?
Not only that, but like they're using I have to give, like, if NATO Johnson ever hears me say this, forgive me, because I said that the color scheme they're using for teams was For Honor, but in reality, that's just the Ubisoft colors they use for opposite teams. That kind of like cyanish blue and then that burnt orange. Like, and
Sorry,
so
I sigh a lot when it comes to pirates, so I apologize for all the sighing.
It's okay. This game had a really cool like cinematic trailer. When they first started showing it off, it's like, oh man, this looks cool. And then they're like, and look around, you're sailing with 4 of your friends. It's like, oh god, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. You can customize your ships. And it's like, no. Like,
There
yeah,
are
that's
different
cool.
classes of ships.
Yeah, they're different classes of ships. You can be
Jokes aside-
the galleon and be fat.
Jokes
and
aside
can't
from my
move.
side, like, do people really have that fantasy of like playing as pirates? Like, is that a thing that people want?
100%.
Yes.
Some people, but doesn't mean you should make it.
Like,
Same
I
fish on
All kinds of fantasies that shouldn't be fulfilled, you know?
in the same. It's in the same like mind space of like ninjas and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like ninjas.
Yeah.
They're not
It's-
ninjas.
It's,
Ninjas
all,
are
it's
cool.
all fantasy.
Like that.
Ninjas are cool, objectively.
Like, I would much rather
Being
Like,
like a crime lord in Los Angeles doesn't fall into like that fantasy.
that's cool though. Like, if they announce another zombie, if they announce the 1 millionth zombie game to come out, I feel like that'll be more interesting than. I'm a hater.
Nope.
I'm a hater.
Fuck
I
off.
kind of realize it.
Bless, this is what's going to
I'm a hater.
happen. We're going to get you Sea of Thieves. You're going to roll around, squat up, never roll alone.
Mm-hmm.
And
God.
we're going to roll the wide roaring tides of the sea. And we're going to find some 12-year-olds and we're going to kill them.
Oh my god. Okay, so aside from the team,
Fox quote.
obviously, like I'm joking for the most part when it comes to like pirates, right? I hate pirates and pirates. I will never play a pirate game, but I understand people love pirates.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
well, no, I don't understand that, but apparently people love pirates. What's
Very
the
much so.
gameplay loop? So like, what are you actually doing that's actually like interesting in Sea of Thieves? And I'm asking this sincerely because I actually don't really know.
For me, it's the way that they are launching their quest. So the quest is done by step on a map, and how you get new quests is you find maps. You can find them off of bodies of people that you find or that you killed. You can find them in the ships that you raid, or you can find them just like buried in an island. Like there's all sorts of stuff that can lead you to these new quests, and they reveal themselves step by step, so you don't ever see like what's ahead of it. And it looked really cool because you work together, because sometimes people have like, oh, well, I have like step 2 of that one. Check it out. And you can show people your quests, and they can choose to accompany you on it. And that looks really cool. And also, I just, any game that's like kiddie enough that like I can play, that I know I can murder children in, I'm just so in. Wait, hold on a second. Let me say that again real quick.
Roll that back.
Any game that I'm able to play, and it's okay for me to murder children in, I like. That's a game for me.
The clown
For audio
voice makes it
listeners,
so much better.
first of all, I don't know why you're still listening to this. Second of all, Cam has like a clown nose that he put on, and
This is for audio listeners.
Just to really sell it.
Just to really sell the murdering kids thing.
Yeah.
Man, Moises, your American flag in your room is so weird.
You think that's?
I'm down with how patriotic you are, but
Yeah, I want to comment on that artwork behind you, Cam.
This artwork
you're
that I
the
got.
only
right here?
brown person that
Oh,
owns
nice.
an American flag.
This blanket also has
know
the
that.
American flag.
You see this?
Dude,
one?
you love our
I got
president
the
that much?
Irish flag.
Are you ready for this? Do you guys see this portrait? You know what that portrait is of?
God.
Is it Reagan or Bush? I can't tell.
It's Reagan. It's Ronald Reagan
nice.
riding a velociraptor shooting an Uzi
It's
while
amazing.
carrying the American banner.
Man,
I
speaking of
paid-
all of
I-
that,
not only did I pay money for a beautiful portrait of this image, but I went to Michael's and had it like somebody helped me set it.
That's awesome.
jeez.
You made that
Before
person stay.
we move on to the next thing, does anybody need to go? Or is anybody like wanting to say bye or anything like that before we move on?
No, I'm
No.
good.
We're here to stay.
Sweet, just making sure because I didn't put time limit on this.
I
So
told
I
you
didn't
we're
want to
going
trap
for
anybody
8
here.
hours.
8 hours.
Let's talk about crap. I forgot what I want to talk about. No,
We
Evil
talked
Within
about
2.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Anybody
we talk about
care
it.
about-
Oh. But
You
yes,
guys care about
Evil
Evil-
Within 2.
I got a
I,
hot take. But if you guys want to talk about Evil Within 2, let's do that. I think that's interesting.
Cool. What's up, Jordan?
Yeah, Evil Within 2, that was probably my favorite trailer of the entire show.
More than Mario?
That was like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that Mario trailer was sick as hell, but
All right. I'm
Evil
not
Within-
hating. I'm not hating.
the Evil Within 2 trailer made me want to play Evil Within 1. And like I had absolutely zero interest in it. But it was just a cinematic trailer, and I know that doesn't speak to any of the gameplay at all. But it was so cool.
There
No, I
was
totally agree.
There was a very little bit of gameplay in there, but yeah.
I think Bethesda
Yeah.
had the best trailers of E3.
I think they had the tightest presentation of E3 for sure.
Same here. Like I really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like Bethesda's presentation, but I really liked it because it was tight. And also I think Evil Within 2 and Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 were the two best trailers for me, at least, of E3. And like I don't care about those franchises now. I do because of those trailers.
I
Because
agree,
the
definitely.
Evil Within 2 trailer was so good. Have any of you guys played the first one?
No, but I've watched people play it. And like, here's the thing: Evil Within 2 doesn't get a bad rap. It just doesn't get a rap at all. People who have seen it, or people who have played it, and people who've seen other people play it. I love you, Moises.
Moises is hilarious.
Great.
Like the entire time about that, like when I was watching somebody play it, it's a cool game, but it's a game that just didn't have enough buzz around it outside of the controversy when the when the trailer on YouTube was added to like family-friendly YouTube channel ads.
Oh no!
Really?
And that first
No.
trailer, the first trailer was like somebody getting like brutally like cut to pieces on a surgical table, and so it's like it was so funny because people would be like, okay, it's on YouTube for kids, like put on the app, and it's like murdering, like people getting butchered, and it's like, oh yeah, that did cause a lot of problems for them. So there wasn't a lot of press for that game, unfortunately. But it's a really cool game, and I'm really excited that this has re-energized people into wanting to play it.
Yeah.
The story is phenomenal, in my opinion. So that alone is worth the play.
What was your take on Anthem that you were gonna say?
My hot take on Anthem. It's my hot take on BioWare as a whole.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
Here we go.
Yep. Moises knows because Moises, I'm surprised you remember this because you were so intoxicated at the time. No, Moises is a good boy. I'm joking. Moises is a good boy. But no, so Bio.
Oh no, he disappeared. He
Oh
froze.
no! Such a hot take. He melted his face.
BioWare's aerial lasers shot him down.
If
Like,
BioWare's shutting down. Okay.
BioWare is shutting that shit down. They
BioWare was like, nah, man. You here with us, Cameron?
I'm here with
He's
you.
back.
Oh,
Okay.
did he cut me out?
Yeah.
You were as you were saying.
Right before
My
you were
take
gonna
on
watch it.
BioWare is
They're trying to silence me. They're trying.
Oh, they did it again.
Oh wow!
They did it. Dang, BioWare doesn't play.
good.
BioWare, they care about Anthem that
BioWare
much.
is really
BioWare is
good.
in the chat right now.
Compromise OK Beats. I see you, BioWare. Shoot. All right, well, I guess we're talking about Mario Odyssey.
Yo, all right.
okay.
But no,
sure.
is he for real just that frozen?
That's crazy.
He's like still here. I'm gonna full screen him. Oh, I can't. Nope, he's just messed up. All right.
Yo,
So-
real quick, I wanted to make this point earlier. Just because so many people, we kind of made the point already, but so many people attacked the Bethesda conference this year. But I thought it was basically like their version of a direct, where everything was coming out this year. That's like a really cool message. They're kind of like on the forefront of like VR AAA titles. That's dope for people who have VR.
yeah.
I don't, because I just got out of college and I'm poor.
I understand.
But and they had two franchises. I never played Wolfenstein: The New Order. Wanted to, but haven't gotten around to it. And same thing with Evil Within, where I was like, oh, I'll play them someday. And seeing both those trailers made me be like, holy shit, I want to play the first one of both of those and probably like get the two sequels just off the two trailers. So I was impressed with their ability to make me
Yeah,
care
people
about
have been-
shit I never played.
People have been hating on E3 this year as a whole, which I have not been getting. Like I get there haven't been many like surprises, but I feel like the lineup of this year with just like everything that we already knew about from previous conferences has been amazing. Like Sony's lineup, Bethesda's lineup, because Nintendo had the most like announcement stuff, and I think that's why everyone is saying that Nintendo won E3. But like, we just have like a hell of a lineup for the next year and a half or so, or even like extended onto that.
Nintendo had Metroid Prime, which I think just pushed them way over the edge. Like
That
nobody
was
expecting that.
You're telling me.
Yeah, that was probably like the announcement of the show.
Yeah,
And it was
Dude,
just it was a JPEG. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
It was a GIF. It was a nice GIF.
dude, I'm
It's a
so
nice
happy to
idea.
have that game in
Excuse
2020.
me, sir. It was a GIF.
Like, I'm sorry, it was a GIF, and they didn't even use different music. They literally used the Metroid Prime 1 title theme, and I'm like, all right, well, I mean, my initial impression is that like I'm through the roof. Like, Metroid Prime's my favorite game of all time by easy,
Nice.
easy. So,
Oh, man.
I am so ready for Metroid Prime 4. I know it's not retro. I know it's internal, like the Nintendo EAD. So I'm
They're
curious how
curious.
they're going to tackle it. But I'm fine with that because retro, kind of like Rare, isn't really retro anymore, or at least not what it was in 2002. So,
Fair.
oh yeah, Metroid M4. Just, I saw the things coming together. I'm like, oh, is it Star Fox? Is it Smash 4? I'm like, it's Metroid music. I'm throwing things at the wall. It's Metroid music. It's real.
Do you think we'll get a announcement for Smash anytime soon?
Nintendo does their directs kind of whenever they want. I know it's usually quarterly-ish, but I'm not sure. It might not be this year. They seem to have things kind of lined up already for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think they want to save that for a lull, which they
Maybe
don't
early next
really
year?
have. Yeah,
I hope it's early next year. Like I think we'll see it in 2018, but I don't want to like set that expectation for myself because I'll be disappointed because that's how Nintendo
No,
works.
I think next year we for sure get Smash. I think for sure.
It won't be a
mean,
brand new one. It'll
hey,
just be
man.
deluxe, though.
I thought this year we'd
Yeah,
for sure
it'll just be
get
deluxe.
Pokemon, but
They
You did.
saved that for
Here.
next year.
You did get Pokemon. You got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Oh yeah,
You know, on the platform, the bigger.
Fuck that.
that's a stupid justification. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's why I don't like that argument. And I'm about to talk to you like my father talked to me when I got a bad grade. Okay, now I'm sorry. I can't be angry for real. It's not part. I can't. It's not part of me. But
That charming.
I'm okay. So Nintendo's a company, right? They're a company that just put out a new console, correct?
Mhm.
Do you know what company? Sorry, I'm reading. I just read something on screen. Do you know what company also put out a console a few years ago? Sony put out a console called the PlayStation 4, right? Xbox did the same thing with the Xbox One. Sorry, Microsoft. Do you know what they didn't do? They didn't put freaking Killzone Shadowfall on the PS3 when the PS4 launched because the PS3 was the previous console. They want to sell PS4, so they put the game on the console that they want to sell. Like,
Yeah, but guess what? They put Persona 5 on PS3 2 months ago because they know the
they also put
markets.
it on PS4.
But that's
They
a third
announced it for
party.
PS3, so that makes sense.
A first party wants to push their new platform.
Yeah. So basically,
Right,
what I'm
but
saying is
third
like,
But Pokemon's not a
maximum.
first-party property at all.
yeah, it is.
It's not first part. It's not like Nintendo makes it. Nintendo doesn't
Yeah,
make
they don't
Pokemon.
it. And like it's owned by Game Freak or whatever, but like it's they have that partnership down on lock. Like it's not like Game Freak, if they wanted to, could make Pokemon on PlayStation or Xbox.
No,
Like,
they wouldn't.
Nintendo owns at least part of it. That's why like Nintendo makes profit off of Pokemon Go, even though they had
Right.
nothing to do with it.
But
They own
that's-
less than 15% of the company now because Game Freak has slowly bought their
Oh, damn,
stock
have they?
back. Yeah.
they had a
like-
really good 2016, man. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, but
No, I think the problem you're always going to run into is the fact that Game Freak as a second party, because they are still connected to Nintendo intimately, they do have deals with them. They're a second party, and because they're a second party studio, they have to make certain internal decisions.
Mhm.
When they launched Sun and Moon and they knew they were going to be doing the Ultra versions, they had to make a decision, and that decision was: do we put it on the Switch, which we don't know how it's going to do, or do we put it out on the 3DS, which already has a 50+ million like user base and
Mhm.
attachment rate? Like people are buying Pokemon in droves, we know that. So do we release the Ultra version like a year or two later and then have that be, once again, we have that same install base? Or do we do it? And here's the thing, even though the Switch has been selling out like crazy, there has not been enough Switches. And the problem with that is not necessarily just artificial demand. It's also the fact that Nintendo, I don't think, banked hard enough on supply. They expected it to sell less, and I don't think that they were also anticipating such a ravenous base, especially after their launch happened. And people were like, is that really what's happening? You're giving us like 4 games across the year? And so I think there was the unexpected hit of the Nindies,
Mhm.
the broad appeal with influencers who travel like very often, that this now sates a desire that people had. You have like a very core group of people that have hyped up the Switch to the point now, and it's now an incredibly successful console. But a big part of what's coming off of that is that's still less than 5 million people. There are still less than 5 million Switches sold. And if you wanted to take a game that is intrinsically built for the operating system and the processing power of a Nintendo 3DS, and to do a port of any kind would mean that you'd have to change the split screen functionality. You'd have to change, like there's things you have to change to make it a good game, a good port. And that's not something that Game Freak does. Game Freak doesn't do ports. They do original content for the system they're designing, or that they've designed the game for. And so I don't see them putting that on the Switch because the game was already made with the 3DS in mind. The engine's built on the 3DS engine. It's not going to work that way. And that's the same argument that I heard people coming back with the Metroid 2. They're like, well, why isn't it on Switch? It's like, because you don't know how well Metroid's going to sell. And would you put it with 50+ million options or less than 5?
To be honest, I'm more accepting of the Pokemon argument than like the Metroid 2 argument, or Metroid, whatever it's called. Being the fact that like it's a Metroid game. Like I don't know how much like how much split screen or double screen functionality that's going to have.
Yeah.
But I think, well, one, this game is a game that like hasn't come out yet, right? This game has been in development for like however many years.
Long enough that it was the cause of the cease and desist for the fan remake.
Yeah. Also long enough that they could have taken the Switch version into consideration. And also like for at least porting wise, like porting a game, like I think the split screen functionality
is going to be almost non-important. I agree.
Yeah. And like to port that to the Switch, I think that can be justified with how much you'll make off of the game, because like the attachment rate on the Switch right now is insane, and like people will buy Metroid on it.
They will. These are the people that will buy Metroid. I agree.
Yeah.
Sure. Also, one big problem with the like Persona versus Pokemon argument is that with Persona they released it on PS4 as well as PS3. They're not releasing it on Switch.
I realize it was a flawed argument.
They also, a big thing to also point out is that the PS4 has not had the success in Japan as it has in the West.
That's what I was trying to get to.
True.
To deny the fan base who have had pre-orders for the Japanese version since the PS3, like that's an important factor to take into the fact that, you know, Japan just isn't doing console gaming as much anymore. They're all about that mobile life. And it's important to also note that Persona as a third party is going to, like, they're going to spread things wide as much as possible. They spread a wide net to catch whatever they can. And I think for sure the reaction that they've had to the West's devouring and praise for Persona 5 has been positive. I think we will have a lot more Western exports from Atlas, which is good for them and good for Sega and good for everybody, good for the industry. But to also compare it to, like, Metroid, the problem with it is also Metroid doesn't sell. It's the least selling franchise of any Nintendo franchise. Worse than Yoshi, worse than Kirby, worse than everybody else. Metroid is for the hardcore of the hardcore Nintendo fans. Now, you can make that argument. That's who the Switch is. That's what the Switch is for. And I would agree with that. And now we have two blessings, and that's a bit strange, but I'll move on.
I have no idea what's happening.
It's okay.
How long have we been gone?
I don't know. Wait. I'm so confused.
Just signed in as OKB now instead of you.
My YouTube crashed and I tried rejoining.
Okay, here we go. It's fixed now.
Hey.
No, like,
still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
but that's like my argument for it. So
am I on my personal account or my OKB's account right now? Can you guys tell?
OKB.
Yeah, you're on OK.
Okay, thank God. I have no idea what just happened. Like all my YouTube tabs all of a sudden just like went dead. And it went to like an all snap screen, which first of all, shout out to your vocabulary.
Yeah, right? That happened to me earlier.
Yeah.
Like when all my Google stuff crashed on me real quick.
That's really weird.
Yep. Snap though.
It softens the blow.
Are we still live on YouTube?
I guess so. It looks like it. Yeah, we are.
I'm still here.
Yeah, John Peck just said hi, Moises.
I know. I saw hi, Jono. I miss you too.
I've been missing
Best brothers for life.
Jono, don't talk to me or my son ever again. I'm joking.
Please talk to me all the time, Jono. Also, is your book like officially on Amazon now? Because I really want to buy it.
It leaked 25 minutes early this morning.
Perfect. Okay.
Nice.
Are you guys ready for this hot take on Anthem?
Yeah, right beforehand though, I want to say that we're probably gonna transition over to some new people soon to get some new blood in here.
That sounds good.
But I'll let you guys know. I don't know when. I just need to confirm if they want to get on. But yeah, go ahead with your hot take.
All right. So here's the deal. BioWare is not BioWare anymore. Period. They're not the same people that made the games that you loved and are beloved, and they're not the same people that made Knights of the Old Republic. They're not the people who made. I mean, they're not even the people who made Dragon Age, and that came out in the last 10 years. This is not the same BioWare. This is an EA-ified corporate BioWare that is about pushing a product on you. Now, here's the thing. They talk about how Anthem, you can go all these places and do everything. That's the biggest problem with Inquisition and Andromeda is the open world. It has serious problems with it. You're telling me your game's based around that? Okay, fine. You're also telling me that this is like a reaction to Destiny. Okay, all right. But also I have been burned because I used to be like the biggest fucking BioWare fanboy. I was like, BioWare can do no wrong. BioWare's like, well, we're thinking about maybe doing like a director's cut DLC, and I said, pull out your balls so I can gargle them, so you can make sure you make it.
Oh dear.
I was willing to gargle balls for the sake of a good Mass Effect 3 ending sequence.
That's my dad, guys.
I was willing to do that. Because other people were like, we want to sue BioWare. One person's like, I'm going to file a Better Business Bureau complaint. Other people are like, wanting to riot or send them cupcakes. And I'm just like, let me gargle those balls. But so I was that big of a fanboy, and I felt the director's cut was a totally great rendition of how to really end it for Mass Effect 3. And I thought they did a great job with that. That's clearly the ending they wanted to do, but they didn't have time for. And I'm glad we gave them that time for a really complete ending. Moving on, though, Dragon Age Inquisition, I was so hyped for it, but at the end of the day, it's a big, vast game, but it's shallow. Everything about Dragon Age Inquisition is shallow. From the characters to the world itself to what you do in it, it's a shallow game. It's big and it's vast, and you can have all these party members, and the spells look amazing, and the graphics are phenomenal, but it's shallow. The story, the overall story is shallow.
That's so interesting because I was not at all hyped for the game, and I just kind of I saw the E3 reveal or whenever it was revealed. I was like, oh right, Dragon Age, that IP exists. And then I think my brother recommended it to me, like, hey, this is a pretty cool thing, you should check it out. I'm like, oh okay. And
Jordan, I need you to shut your beautiful mouth for just one moment while I ask you a question.
Oh yeah, hit me.
Have you ever played the original Dragon Age?
I went back and played them after I played the Inquisition.
So you understand the level of incredible depth that Dragon Age 1 has.
Dragon Age 1 in terms of gameplay or narrative?
Gameplay, yeah, it has problems. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on the problems with Dragon Age.
It was one of the worst experiences in gaming I've had was that underground level. That felt like it went on for
the deep roads.
5 years.
The deep roads? Are you you plebeian? You plebeian. No, I'm joking. A lot of people have problems with that. I'm just fucking.
Oh man, it was rough. But I love the narrative in the game.
No, the narrative, the story, the world, everything's so deep in that game. Mm-hmm. And the worst part about it is the deep roads is one of the hardest areas to get through in that game. The same thing with the Fade and the Mage's Tower. Those are the two roughest areas to get through the game. Yeah. But they're surrounded by two of the best narratives and things going on. Dwarven culture in that game is completely different from anything we've ever seen from Dwarven culture. And Dragon Age dwarves are the best dwarves. You can quote me on that.
I totally agree. Maybe it's just from me being not so hyped about it and learning about Dragon Age for the first time through that game. I felt like it was right there with the other games.
You're a beautiful boy.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean, that was probably just from me.
And how did you feel about Dragon Age 2? How do you feel about the massive disappointment of Dragon Age 2?
Yeah, how did you go through that?
How did you like Mass Effect Dragon Age? How did you enjoy that?
Dragon Age 2 was really weird.
It is. It's
very very weird.
So Inquisition was definitely my favorite of the three. I
just want to just.
So that was my favorite of the three, and that's probably due to me again learning about it for the first time. But
it's hard to go back to Dragon Age 1. That system is very difficult. Dragon Age is the best combat.
Dragon Age Origins, I love it to death, but I will probably never revisit that game.
It's a hard game to revisit. I know I tried recently.
Yeah. So Inquisition. What was I going to say? I felt like I needed to go back and play those first two games because I fell in love with Inquisition so much. It was my game of the year that year, hands down.
Somebody didn't play.
Couldn't put it down. I did not play Shovel Knight.
Somebody didn't play South Park: Stick of Truth because that was game of the year, hands down.
That's also true. I did not play either of those games.
You done goofed. You done goofed. 2014 was the year of Shovel Knight and South Park: Stick of Truth.
Eli in chat wants to know if you should buy Dragon Age. Inquisition.
Inquisition only if you can get it for as close to free as possible. Do not pay full price for that game because there is a crap ton of DLC.
I've routinely seen it for $6. So
good.
Yeah, I always see it for $24 and less. If you can find it at that, it's a fair price for that.
I'm pretty sure there's also a complete edition with all the DLC.
You can get that for
the last
$6
DLC.
worth it.
That's how I bought it. Yeah.
The last DLC of Inquisition is if you're really invested in if you want to get invested in the Dragon Age universe, the last DLC of Inquisition is going to be hugely important for the next few games.
If there are a few games.
Eli, if you have played Witcher, which if I recall you have.
He's played Witcher for sure. He's got it. He's a Geralt guy. I've seen his place.
Yeah,
I slept in his bed.
Inquisition is gonna feel very, very empty and very boring.
Yep, don't do it. Just play Witcher again, or wait for
if
it's $10.
It's $10.
It's $10. Is it for the complete edition for $10?
I mean, I don't know.
I know you're not looking at it. If it's the complete edition for $10, I'd say wait for it until it goes down to half that price.
Jesus.
It's not happening.
Whoa!
Like the game isn't all that bad until you start comparing it to everything that came out around it.
Yep. And everybody was so entranced by
I played Dragon Age Inquisition right after I beat Witcher.
No, you poor boy.
That was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life.
So
interesting.
Cody just joined us. Can you hear us, Cody? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cody, what's
Hi,
up?
Cody.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm decent. Can you say your first and last name for the people listening and watching?
Yes, my name is Cody Bernson.
Cody Bernstein.
What's
How
your
are
favorite?
you?
What's your favorite thing from E3 so far?
Oof, that is a tough question. I really liked seeing Mario jump inside of a man.
Fuck yes.
Wait, he did what to a what?
He jumped inside of a man. He decided to
mistrust
say.
him?
He decided, I'm going to go ahead and treat this man as a meat puppet and win up his anus.
Wait, okay, so I know he
Mario
does.
rocked
So
his bones for sure.
Mario has that thing, right, where he can throw his hat at
He
an enemy or
captures
something,
things.
and then he like turns into them.
Yeah.
He did that with one of the humans. One of the
Yeah,
humans.
you can do it to a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, you,
I
you
missed
can
that. I saw he did it with
body
like a
snatch
car.
person. He
I
body
know
You
he
can
snatch
turn into a car. You can turn into a T-Rex. I don't know.
Messed up.
There's almost nothing he can't do it to.
Mario's
He can
got
do it to
paranormal.
like
I'm not
lampposts,
okay
I think.
I'm not
He's-
okay with this.
You're not okay with this?
You know,
I'm not
you
okay
know
with
this.
Mario's like venture into the occult. See, Luigi was tame about it, but Mario's just gone full fucking.
Just-
Oh
Jeez.
god, I can't handle when he just goes into a normal human-looking man, and I'm like, what is happening?
He's wearing him like a sock. That's what he's doing.
I like his mid animation, like when he's transforming into something, because he looks all like stretched out and messed up, and he looks like he's in pain.
It's unnatural.
It's very unnatural. It's very like unsettling.
It's what Majora's Mask should have shown when you're turning into like a Deku.
I would love to see Mario do
painful
that,
process.
like scream before he possesses somebody, like when they put the mask on.
He does. Don't you hear him? He goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mamma mia.
In the demo they did the
What did he
sick
say,
thing.
Mamma Mia?
Yes.
There's a sick thing in the demo where like apparently in the sand level, which I can never remember the name of it, the thing that the level that looks like Mexico, there
With
are these
sombrero,
murals.
right?
The sombrero
Yes.
level. There are these murals where like you can jump into them and they look just like the 2D Mario 1 levels.
Oh, yeah.
That's the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like
Like in
Exactly.
Link
Link
Between
Between
Worlds, but more
Yeah.
depth.
I don't really care about Link Between Worlds.
Oh
I've
my
never
god.
I don't have anything against it. I don't have anything against like
You just
top-down
beat the
Zelda.
3DS. Get out of here. Oh my god.
I just didn't have like a childhood where I played 2D top-down Zelda. I
You
like
played good games. You didn't play good games as a kid. You know that.
I was
your
an N64 kid.
DK64. You were D64 or DK64 apologist. We know you didn't play good games growing up. Les.
My
It's
first
okay.
console was the Nintendo 64. I'm 22 years old. It's natural.
Oh, you babby. You babby.
I'm 22 years old. My first was a Genesis. What's your excuse?
Well, you had a Genesis. Why are you talking
I would be bragging about that.
I'm in that same boat.
What's wrong with you? I had a Genesis. Like, come on, son. We're better than that.
You had an
You know what?
N64.
If you murdered somebody and you're like, why did you murder him? And you said, because he looks like Mario. And they're like, why would that bother you? You just say, I had a Genesis.
I had a Genesis.
That's all you
It's just
have
part
to
of the
say.
culture.
But yeah, N64 had like one game every 3 years or something. Like, I mean, you know, they spaced them out.
Every game was the best game ever made, though. Super Mario 64, like
I
Ocarina of Time,
won't argue with that.
Donkey Kong 64. Like, come on,
All right,
son.
now
You lose
we're
everybody there. You lose
Now we're-
everyone there.
Come on, son.
You don't even put Mario 64 in the same like headspace as Donkey Kong 64. Like they're like Mario just kind of just towers over him in like,
Donkey Kong 64 is the Skyrim of the Nintendo 64. It has the openness of Skyrim. It has the amount of activities to do with Skyrim. It has the
No.
I'll say
it has the choice. It has the character development.
No.
It has
If
cutscenes,
Nintendo
man.
doesn't announce a DK64 for VR, I'm gonna be real upset.
I'll say
Well,
Donkey Kong 64 would actually be a good game if you could wherever you are switch Kongs. That way it would
Oh,
just
that would
not
be
be
good.
so much backtracking.
That's a very good point, actually. Like one of the worst parts about DK64 is the fact that like the game is made for you to backtrack 5 times because it wants you to play each level with 5 different characters, and that's
Which is
kind of
insane.
for somebody like me, who I am very much like, I am kind of OCD in that way when it comes to like the N64 games, where I'm like, oh, I will collect everything in every single manner, and I'm gonna like see every little thing. That is, it appealed to me, but I understand for most people that is a very like psychotic thing to want to collect everything in DK64.
And I gotta be like,
I just the fact that the game's trash. That's why.
man. So you grew up with a Super Nintendo?
Actually, I'm a bit interesting. So I'm from a family of 5, and so
okay. So you're already in a messed up situation.
yeah. So I was 4th out of 5, and so we got an NES when I was like, we're probably talking 1990, 1991. We got an NES from a yard sale, and we would scour yard sales for NES cartridges. And so I didn't actually play a Super Nintendo until I was probably about 7 or 8. So we're talking like right around the same time, like right before the PlayStation and N64 were coming out.
Okay.
Because I remember how big of a deal it was that like you could rent an N64 from Blockbuster. Because you sure as hell couldn't buy one. Where I grew up. So no, but then I got an N64 for my 8th birthday, and that was like the first cool thing that I owned.
So
And
Mario
DK64 was not part of that.
Peanut in chat.
No, it was not.
said that Mario is the hat. the body that you see, the body that you see Mario as isn't actually Mario. That's actually like the body that the hat took over. And so all these years,
Yes.
the hat has actually been Mario.
I mean, it's got the M on it. It's been Nintendo's been trying to tell us since the beginning.
So when that monkey
so
in the
to-
Mario 64 and that
oh, go
monkey
ahead.
takes the hat, that's actually a prototype for Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
There you go.
when the bird takes the hat and you're running around as hatless Mario, that's actually not Mario. You're just running around as a random plumber who's finally found freedom. Dude, if that actually became canon, I would actually like start
Or
crying.
Mario's just the hat the whole time.
Mario and Luigi aren't actually even related. The hats are.
They're just two random strangers that never
Hats
met
are brothers.
They have
They're
no.
just- They were both at the same, work for the same plumbing company. That's it. No,
Dude.
but they actually explain. If you watch the trailer, you can see originally it's
It's a white like
It's
top
the
hat,
white
and it,
top
it
hat.
merges with Mario's cap. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what that is. And then he can also merge with other hats for different outfits, like the sombrero.
Which is actually a callback to like some obscure Mario game from a while ago.
Yeah. But
Are you
I
guys
think
gonna play that Kirby game?
Hell's
Yes.
yeah.
The one
Ooh,
that's
yeah,
out in
that was good.
2018?
Hell
Are you
yeah.
guys like Kirby fans? Like, is there such? Who are you people? Like,
I'm trying to ask you a question here. Are you ready for this? Why
What
wouldn't
up?
you love an androgynous yellow blob that sucks everything you can find? Why wouldn't you be a fan of that?
Have you ever
Sounds
seen
good
that
Friday night.
picture? Have you seen that picture of him without his shoes on? It's just his feet.
It's just like
My
coordinated
feet.
feet.
Human feet?
It's just human
Yeah.
feet. It's
Because
so weird.
That is why I don't like Kirby.
It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in this planet, I've got to say. Like
That sounds terrible.
he's got like, and it's
He wears
really
shoes. He wears
it's-
shoes.
really detailed feet too. It's like
It's super disturbing.
it's
He's got nails.
I just keep thinking about Mario being the hat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry.
I love that.
I can't like focus on this. Let's talk
Although
about.
I will say, it's about time that Bowser and Peach get married because they already have a kid.
Wait, who?
And Bowser Jr.
Oh God. Do you think
So
that
here's the thing.
Peach is the baby mama?
Oh,
And he's finally ready
Mario,
to
what was it,
commit.
Mario Sunshine, when Bowser Jr. is revealed, he says that he's come to like get his mom back. And Peach doesn't deny it. She just goes, Oh
my god, it's like some fiery shit.
Oh no, my side piece just found out that I have a family. That's what that is.
Damn, that makes sense. And Bowser's finally ready to commit. I respect that.
deep, man.
If you look at the Amiibo 3-pack, they're both like reaching. And Peach is just like, oh, I don't know, like the abusive ex that always fucking kidnaps me.
No,
or
no, no.
like the hardworking blue collar guy that's a hat.
No. The abusive ex is Mario, and his whole rescues are because he's super high on mushrooms.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
That's what it is.
Peach leaves him, and he gets depressed, so he goes back to his mushroom addiction
And stomps on animals.
and stomps. He not only he stomps on like dogs and animals and little kids.
So here's the real
Also,
question.
the bricks all have eyes because they're people that have been turned into bricks. Mario literally murders people for their money.
How does Bowser get a wedding suit on if the shell has to be like physically on him? Like
I love how far down the rabbit hole this is
like
gone.
the shell is like
Blessing, this is what your podcast has become.
I know. I'm just like, listen. I'm like, man, it's gonna be really hard to
Well,
see.
when he looks that good in the suit, you just don't need to ask questions.
I'm like, we're not even talking about E3 anymore.
Who's his
When did we
Taylor?
move off of E3? That was the
Who's
question.
Bowser's Taylor?
yeah, for real.
He has a great one in New Donk City.
Yeah, it's true. Also, can we say shout out to Paulina being brought back?
Yeah, she's the mayor.
Yes.
She's the mayor.
I didn't catch
She
that.
went-
She's the
she went
mayor.
from being
She's the vocalist
damsel-
in that band.
Yeah, so she went from being Cranky Kong's the person who kidnapped her because Cranky Kong's OG Donkey Kong.
Oh shit, we're getting some Mario lore up in this.
You ready for this? You brought the lore whore himself onto your show.
Lord.
Wow.
All right, so
Oh,
you have
bless,
Cranky
watch out.
Kong. Cranky Kong was originally the original DK. DK Jr. is the DK that we know from DK64 in the modern generations. So Mario saves Pauline from Donkey Kong, who clearly was just like, guys, I'm in love with a singer, but she won't be in love with me, and I don't know how to handle these emotions because I'm a monkey. And, that's okay, because he learned. He learned afterwards, and he reformed, and he became a local businessman back on his home island. Very successful.
Well, why would Pauline name the place New Donk City after her?
Oh, no. The
Why
city's
wouldn't
called
Got a
New
Donk.
Donk City because, no joke, like, it's named after the Donkey Kong legacy.
Now,
So,
is the original Donkey Kong going to
so-
be retconned and be in New Donk City?
He might be.
Is
I
he
don't
just
know.
like
We'll have to wait and
Jay-Z?
see. He might be just like Jay-Z.
So let's talk about Need for Speed Payback.
Okay.
Transition.
Do they got Mario
How's
hats?
that for a transition?
So I didn't realize they were coming out with Fast and
That was
Furious
about
next.
as good a segue as we are going to be able to get there.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to steer this in any kind of direction, and I don't even know what's left to talk about. But there's
Oh, that was a good transition.
They
Yeah.
got
Years,
Rocket
eh?
League on Switch. That's cool.
Rocket
That's
League
also
is
cool, actually,
Pretty
but-
legit. That's a brilliant move.
I'm like the biggest Rocket League fan, but I don't know if I can play it on like not PlayStation because like I've already built so much progress, and I can't restart it at this point.
Is
Like,
there any way to transfer over?
No.
ooh, I don't
No.
know.
That was Sony.
But
No,
you got to
so-
get the Mario hat.
Oh yeah, Sony doesn't care.
Sony's like, not only do we not care about like doing anything for you, we're also gonna have a like implemented sound format that you can't use outside sounds. You have to use our sounds. Fuck you. That's Sony.
Yeah. Need for Speed Payback though.
It looks
Is anybody gonna get that game? Is what I want to know.
Probably not. I'm not a Need for Speed guy.
Probably not.
But,
Probably not. I just wanted
I'm
to.
not a racing
I'm
guy.
intrigued
so-
by it.
I think
It
it's a
looks
step in
good.
the right direction, though.
Yeah, it looks totally fine. It's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, Metro Exodus. What's up with that game?
Looks dope.
Oh shit.
you were
Looks
really
great.
into it,
Yeah.
especially the bear part. I was impressed.
Stop it.
There.
That bear looked
Yeah.
lit.
How many guys have played through the last two games?
I haven't touched it. I've never.
I have,
played it.
yeah.
Played both of them, but I haven't beaten either of them.
I own them all, but they're on my computer and I've never installed them. Thank you.
Okay, gotcha. I
Yeah,
I played all the way through the first one, and I think I was having some problems with my computer for the second one, but it was the like redo versions or
Yeah.
Redux or whatever, where it was like pretty much just Metro Last Light.
Mhm.
The like skin and the controls were all ported over from Last Light to 2033, and those games have something like really special going about it. Like it's games that just nail in gameplay the tone that the game is going for.
Mhm.
I would like really recommend picking this up if you have.
I The only reason I got them was because I was one of those fucking idiots who used GameFly, and so I got I rented both of them, and then I tried both of them to some extent. I tried the first one because I wanted to do it in order, and it just kind of felt a little janky to me. And then I tried Last Light, and Last Light it held up better, but then I think I fell off of it because I wanted to play something else. But those games are frequently on sale, and they're even on sale right now. Not like together, but separately for like $14 if you buy both of them. So I mean, if anybody wants to get into Metro Exodus,
now's the time.
I mean, it's literally always time because anytime there's a sale, they're usually on sale. But pick them up now.
Yeah, Cody, what are your feelings about Metro?
I'm really excited about it. I thought they did like a really good like how in a lot of those like open world games, like you go out into the world from the darkness and you get that like nice good like vista view. I think they did a pretty good job with that, and I'm really intrigued by like the trailer itself. Like, 'cause at first I didn't like know exactly what it was going to be, but as it went on, I was like, oh yeah, this is 4A. It's Metro, and I'm really love those old games. I'm really excited to play a new game in the series.
How do you guys feel about the Xbox One X?
We'll talk about being forced into doing a big presentation because of the media.
Yeah.
I love its design. I love its size. I love the branding. Like, it's called Xbox if you look at the acronym, not X-Bones. So there's no boner jokes anymore, which makes me a bit sad because I miss the X-Boner jokes.
Yeah, okay.
I am a grown-ass adult man, and I will admit that, it's time to move on.
Cameron, I know you. You will find a way to make more boner jokes. Like, you've not.
No, I never said that I was done making boner jokes. I said,
dude, where there's a Willy, there's a way, man.
That's accurate.
Do you feel like there wasn't like a purpose for having a conference about the Xbox One X? Is that what you're saying, or
no? They needed one. They need to explain to people who don't know what a teraflop is why it's important that it has all these teraflops. Which is, it's silly to say because it's like a techno jargon word, but it's actually, this is going to be a very important step in the step towards new consoles and in the step towards advancing technology in consoles. And I was hoping that they would go modular with it, but I understand that if they're looking through the part list of everything that's inside of it, doing something modular would have cost like close to twice as much, like maybe $800-900. So I understand that to be the case, and I'm okay with it. But they're definitely eating their lunch on this because if they don't sell big on it, they're not going to make their money back.
Cool. Yeah, you're breathing on your mic a little bit, by the way.
Okay.
He's like just so into what I'm saying.
Like, being turned on by the teraflops.
The teraflops. But yeah, no, I think it was
teraflops are terra hot. Sorry.
I think if we had known absolutely nothing about the Xbox One X, this would have been an amazing presentation. But all this stuff has been leaking over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
I mean, they did come out during. They partnered up with, not The Verge. They partnered up with those guys, the
Digital Foundry
guys.
Yeah,
Foundry, Digital Foundry, to like kind of put a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, do you guys feel like they hit their message with the Xbox One X? Because I think
they did.
I think they did. I just don't think they like.
I think
they told us what it is. They just haven't made the compelling case for why that should.
Well, it's like this.
Your $500.
Yeah. Do you think people care?
Well, no. So here's the thing: they have phased out the original Xbox One. That thing's gone. It's gone the way of the dinosaur. It's just gone. You can maybe find them for sale from third-party sellers.
Is it gone, Is it gone?
Why is it there? Why do you own one? My son, why?
Oh, yeah, I have one too, actually. I'm so mad. I'm so mad that I have it.
It's backwards compatible on it, duh.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand why you own one. I just don't understand why you didn't throw that out the window the moment you saw the Xbox One S.
I'm probably going to trade this in for an Xbox One S really soon.
Yeah, no. So the Xbox One S, I love the fact that they have switched their branding over to Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. It's like these are your two tiers to play Microsoft games. Because that's the thing. This is not an Xbox conference anymore. Last year, they rebranded it. It's a Microsoft conference. They are putting themselves onto a single operating platform now. Everything that you saw there, unless it specifically said console exclusive, just console exclusive, everything's a Microsoft exclusive. So either you're getting it on the Windows 10 PC on whatever rig you have, or you're getting it for a more low key. Like, this is Microsoft's game plan now. And it's a brilliant move after the failure of the Xbox One launch.
Mm-hmm.
They've definitely
either way, they're getting your money.
Exactly. They're consolidating everything into it. They've created a tier system where you can either go custom, high power, low power. Everything plays Microsoft games. And not only that, but you can play with people online no matter what box they're using.
So do you think the odds are that the next console iteration is just the Xbox, and then you can have all of your original Xbox 360, Xbox One games throughout the rest of the cycles, and every year is just the new like powered up version of the Xbox, and it's just the Xbox.
I think they're going to stick with the 2-tier console system. It's smart. It's what it's what Apple does. It's what Samsung does. Everybody has a 2-tier system now for low-end buy-in. So you can buy the low-end in, which is the Xbox One S. You can get the high-end $500 Xbox One X. And if you really want to be a hardcore gamer, you build your own PC. That's it. Like, it's straight up, they have consolidated themselves into matching their hardware and console space to match with their hardware or their software in computer space. And it's a brilliant maneuver. But it's one that I think a lot of people are looking over. People who play PC games like myself, a big shout out over to Woody. He knows who he is, and I doubt he'll ever see this because he's too busy making Telltale games.
Nice.
He put it out on Twitter first. He goes, like, if you're a PC gamer, low key, there were a ton of kick-ass titles put out there that are coming to PC now. All those Xbox One, like Crackdown 3, everything you saw up there is coming to PC. So for somebody who already has like a pretty, like, not redonkulous rig, but it's a pretty good rig for what it is. I need to do some upgrades because I haven't upgraded in a long time. But for me, that was an awesome experience because it, once again, is pushing the forward message that we are Microsoft. Your Xbox is the product in which you are accessing the Microsoft like powerhouse, the Microsoft library. It's the ecosystem. And they're really reinforcing that, and I love it.
So do you think the next iteration is Xbox 2 S and X?
I don't know if it'll be 2. They might just call it, like, they might just do the smart thing, which in my opinion would just be to call it the Xbox S and the Xbox X. Or just maybe keep it the 1 or they upgrade to 2. I don't know, but all I can say is if they go with this 2-tiered system going forward into the next console iteration, because I don't think they're going to do it annually. It's just not feasible to do it annually for them and for the gamers, because there's not going to be a significant enough upgrade in it. You have to wait for the the top tier custom PC technology to get cheaper.
It's like every 3 years.
I would say probably within the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years, by 2020, 2021, we'll be looking at the new PS5 and the new Xbox.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's been, the fact of the matter is the recession caused console lifespan to increase by double at the very minimum. So we went from being every 2 to 3 years to 3 to 6 years. We're coming up on that mark now.
Which I'm fine with. I felt like the Xbox 360, like I was on PlayStation before I was on Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
And like that thing, and I have the original one that it never red ringed. It's just the
white
beast,
boy?
and
The white boy.
Okay, I think I want something new, like rather than like, I have to pay new money to get the new games.
Yep, exactly. And I think that's a smart way of doing it. Microsoft had, if you are a PC gamer, Microsoft had a lit conference because there was a ton of love for you, even though they didn't talk about it. It's kind of like somebody who loves you and they're giving it, like they're talking about something else, but you pick up cues. They're like, oh, they love me too. Okay. Like, I got that. I can see in the way that you're talking, like you have that on like messages, like you love us. Okay. It's cool.
So one of my favorite announcements at E3 was Hidden Agenda, which I don't know if you guys caught this. Essentially,
that was super under the radar.
Yeah.
So cool.
First of all, I want to say, I don't know, but my main problem with Sony's E3 conference is the fact that I felt like most of their best announcements were done before the
pre-show was lit.
The pre-show was so good.
Lit.
Yeah.
The pre-show had all the releases for 2017.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why. I think I get kind of why they did it. I think they're trying to go for the big, like all of the big releases will show at the conference, and we'll make it like this beautiful thing, and like we'll get all like the cool like other stuff out elsewhere, which I think was a bad idea. Like I think they're trying to replicate last year because last year was very beautiful and elegant the way they did it, but this year I think it did not serve them well because like their showings were cool. Like yeah, they had cool trailers, they had a cool like Days Gone gameplay demo, they had a cool Uncharted thing, they had all that stuff, but like we knew about like most of the things that they showed at E3. Like the exception was like Shadow of Colossus and Monster Hunter Worlds, but like those are also two like niche games. Like everybody isn't gonna go crazy over Shadow of Colossus. Everybody isn't gonna go crazy over Monster Hunter.
Everybody should go crazy over both those games. But
yeah, everybody should. But like they have like their niche audiences. But do you know what I did? What I went crazy over, and what I'm pretty sure a lot of people went crazy over was Undertale. Like I was sitting in the E3 at the E3 experience watching this because like they had us in there like an hour before the conference, like during the pre-show and stuff, and like lights were off and we were watching it, and like Undertale came on screen. Everybody just started going crazy. Like people were like, "Oh, that is finally!" And when they ended it with also coming to Vita, like the noise that was made in the room was like crazy. Like
yeah, to be fair, you're also in Seattle.
Wasn't
I haven't seen it. Like, but like the only announcement that did that during the conference in that theater was Shadow of Colossus, and that was mostly me in the theater, like yelling, like, "Oh my god, I'm crying!" And me hugging the stranger next to me. But like, Undertale was crazy. Like that was awesome. They showed Gran Turismo coming out later this year. They showed Hidden Agenda, which like what was that?
You got into Hidden Agenda when I was saying something. Oh, it's fine. I was just saying Final Fantasy Dissidia NT.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, it's crazy. No, but like Hidden Agenda, which looks crazy. Like if you're listening, you're unfamiliar with Hidden Agenda. Essentially, it is it Superman? No,
it's Supermassive.
It's Supermassive. Okay, the guys who did Until Dawn, they have a new game, which is actually like the perfect follow up to Until Dawn, because like the thing that made Until Dawn awesome was the idea of that, like you one, like the choices and all the different outcomes, but also it was a great game to play with other people because like the choices were very intense and very interesting, and making those choices with other people and getting other people involved in those choices was very fun. It's a very fun group game to play, and they capitalized off of that, and they were like, hey, why don't we just put that in the game? And now here we have a game that everybody can contribute to. Like it uses a phone app. You have different choices on screen during the story, and everybody kind of helps decide what the choice is going to be. And people have like different choices, and different like people have different information that they have access to. And it's like a really interesting, cool game. That to me was one of the biggest announcements from that. Well, maybe not biggest, but one of the most interesting, one of the most, like, for me at least, one of my favorite announcements from Sony this year, along with Undertale, along with there was another game that was like kind of like a Jackbox party pack kind of game.
Shuhei was in that video.
Yeah, Shuhei was in the trailer. Like that was another great trailer. Like they had so many great trailers. There's some I have in my head that I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
but like
I think all of those games that you're probably thinking about fall into the PlayLink initiative that they decided to debut and that's the thing that they decided to debut in the pre-show, which is weird.
Yeah, and they didn't discuss it.
Yeah,
like,
but to be fair, go ahead.
It's so interesting. What were you saying?
Well, to be fair, so here's the thing. I understand actually a little bit where Sony's coming from, because Sony had so much that they had their own dedicated hour-long pre-show.
Yeah,
but here's the
their
thing.
conference
when
was
Shawn
like
Layden came
minutes.
out. The conference went for like almost an entire hour. It was like 55, 56 minutes.
Yeah, but like that,
they were only scheduled for an hour of their conference. I mean,
isn't it like usually like an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Last year it was only an hour. So they so they had these expectations. Okay, we're going to do an hour again. We're going to have the live orchestra. It's going to be great. And then they look at their slate of the games, and I can just see somebody just going like, "Fuck, what do we put where?" And they said, "You know what? Let's go ahead." And I feel like they maybe said pre-show. Let's put all the things that are coming out like now that aren't big cinematic stuff.
Knack 2. Sorry.
Knack 2.
Look great.
Knack 2. I still blame Frank Bazzani at Irrelevant Jokes on Twitter for the like sole responsibility for making sure Knack 2 happened, because nobody was saying anything about Knack until that motherfucker brought it back.
Was it really him?
I believe it. Like he might say it wasn't him, but I 100% believe it was him. Because it became a meme and it went everywhere. Now Trevor Starkey says that he'll believe it when there's a Balls energy drinks like sponsorship. But
Yeah. And also, Sean is in the Seanster is in the chat. He was the dude I hugged when Undertale was announced. Like it was that hype. Sean Seanster, thank you for giving me a hug. Because I really needed it. Because I was super hyped.
I believe it, man. I was hyped too. I was sitting in this chair and I was like jumping up and down. I was like, I can't believe that this is happening in my lifetime.
Because for me, like the way I explain it to people is like if I included the pre-show in it within the conference, I would say Sony had the best conference for me.
100%.
Yeah, but like the conference itself, like was cool. Like Shadow Colossus was the only thing where I was like, oh, that's crazy. But like including the pre-show, like the pre-show to me was off the chain, and they didn't like so many people missed that stuff because people aren't really going to tune into the pre-show, which I think to me is
I'm surprised by the fact. I'm surprised that they didn't choose to put all of their big surprises in, or not surprises, but announcements in there. Like Hidden Agendas, I feel like was a slam dunk for like actual conference. Undertale would have been huge if they got more eyes on that.
I think they misunderstood how big of an audience Undertale has.
Also, Super Hot VR should have been in
Super Hot VR.
That was the other one.
Yeah,
that should have been in the VR section of the show instead of in the pre-show.
If that all was part of the conference, I think Sony would have had best conference. Like,
I agree.
If you want to take into consider, I was going to say this. Make sure I said it during this point, because I love that you have the same opinion, Blessing. Because 100%, if you take in the pre-show, you take into consideration their pre-show as their like conference, because I mean they did have like proper hosting and everything else going on in the pre-show. That is 100% hands down the best conference.
I think I would say so also. Yeah.
However, without it, I think it's roughly around Microsoft. Microsoft might have been better just because they debuted brand new technology that's going to push the industry forward.
And they also debuted a lot of
hella games.
And hella games. So Microsoft, I think, had a better like presentation than Sony. Nintendo, I think you got a GIF for Metroid Prime 4, which is enough for people. It's enough for some people, and I get that. They have Nintendo Odyssey, which I'm not gonna lie, I got super hyped about it. I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know why I'm this excited. I'm never this excited for a Mario game, but I am right now. So it got me with that. And then on top of that, you have like other great conferences going on. Ubisoft, I think Ubisoft has trouble because they have to cover so many different types of games that it's always going to be a hit and a miss. And so that's always going to make them struggle.
Well, I think also a big plus for Nintendo was that they only, was it 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Like 25, yeah.
So they just made it short, compact, and sweet, and there was no down. It was just that, and then they're done. So they didn't have to like feel like they had to fill time.
And then additionally, I did want to say that if there's one thing that we can all say, and I think we can all be in agreement with, it's that everybody learned from the last 2 years at E3 how to do a better E3 conference, with the exception of EA.
Yes.
Oh, EA was so bad.
EA had like a
stop watching it.
2-hour show, and it's just like, you dense motherfuckers, you're not understanding that this is you're the only people who didn't learn from last year.
Yeah.
Ubisoft learned hard last year. Because of how
I still didn't like Ubisoft's conference this year, but I'm in the minority, I think, in that.
It's a hit and miss, and also Ubisoft is in a precarious situation where they need hype all year round for them because they're currently fighting a hostile takeover from Vivendi.
All right, I was going to bring this up. Did anybody else get the feeling, especially at the end of the Ubisoft conference, where they actually brought everybody up?
100%.
Like this might be like their last one before
this might be the last
takeover.
It's real. It's real. The hostile takeover. It's not just rumors. Vivendi
I know
has
it's
been
not just rumors, but I like.
Like they've been making moves. By this time next year, it might be a Vivendi conference. It might be the last hurrah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was talking to
next year. They might be announcing like some MOBAs or like some like mobile games.
Well, no joke, but I was talking to Alex O'Neill, and he said it felt a lot like they were future-proofing like the core games that they need to protect. Like Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been in like concept pre-production for almost a decade. Actually, more than a decade now. No, sorry, they announced it at 2008. It was 9 years. E3 2008, they did the announcement, and then they did the re-announcement this year, 2017. So for 9 years, that thing has been in pre-development.
That thing is still in pre-development.
It's still in pre-development.
Yeah, but also like to piggyback off that, like last year they didn't announce any games past like 2017. Like all the games they showed last year have all come out except for South Park, but that got delayed.
And Wild.
Yeah, in Wild. Was
that,
I don't think Wild is Ubisoft, is it?
Yeah,
it is.
Ubisoft.
It's Michelle and Cell.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Yep.
I thought that was like a PlayStation. Is it a PlayStation exclusive? from
I'm
Ubisoft?
not sure.
I'm looking this up.
It might be.
I don't even think
I'll
Michelle
look it
Ansel
up.
is technically even like a Ubisoft employee anymore.
Yeah, but I will
Yeah.
say it's like this could they really wanted to show everybody, hey, these are the developers, these are the people behind it, and in actual like when Miyamoto like
With the
pointed to
gun.
the guy and introduced him and said like, hey, you know, stand up, like please stand up, and that guy, he's like he didn't expect a camera on him, he's dressed like a regular E3 attendant.
Wild isn't
And he's-
Ubisoft anymore, by the way. It's I think it got changed. I think it got switched over
Oh,
because
I-
Sony
yeah,
is
I think-
publishing it now.
I think Ubisoft abandoned it.
Yeah.
I think they cut ties.
Yeah.
But no, so then when he stood up and Miyamoto just like, he's like, I gave him one piece of advice. Do something, like, don't play it safe. Do something that you, like, nobody's ever seen Mario do before. And it'll be a success. And, like, that guy's crying because he's being praised by, like, pretty much, like, the industry, like, grandpa. Like,
Yeah.
everybody in the industry sees Miyamoto like a kindly grandfather. Which
With
actually,
that-
if you know anything about Miyamoto's life, you'd know that neither of his two children are in video games. It's very funny.
With that context, I think that bolsters up the Ubisoft conference for me. Like still objectively looking at it for me myself, like I look at announcements, I look at the games and stuff, but like with that context around it, the emotion behind it, I mean, as a moment in time, I think that's pretty cool and not necessarily cool because it's kind of tragic, but at the same time, it's kind of like a interesting emotional type of thing.
Yep, it definitely is, and I think that's what pushed it forward for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think if you like a majority of these games did hit you, like that is a game you want to play. Ubisoft did have a phenomenal conference, but if you are a person like Blessing and myself, clearly, it's a hit and miss for so many games that are just like, okay, this doesn't interest me. Well, I already know everything about Far Cry 5.
Mhm.
Skull and Bones is bullshit. But like I totally agree. I think Ubisoft, I think they had a pretty this has been a good E3. We're just I think somebody mentioned it earlier I was listening to the podcast, like you guys podcasting on my way home. And somebody, I think it was Moises, said like we're so spoiled now. We're so spoiled when we're giving all these like secret releases. Like I can't believe we didn't know about this. Like the Spider-Man reveal last year at PlayStation, or like so much, or like the Scorpio reveal last year. It was such a big like hype thing, and this year hasn't been a year of hype. It's been a year of, hey, this is where things are at right now. Here's the stuff that's going to come out.
And everything else being like released ahead of time.
So early 2018 and late fall 2017, lit.
Hype.
Yeah,
Hype.
it's gonna be
I mean, all of 2017 has been hype so far.
Yeah, we're
except for like maybe right now, but like the
No,
summer.
I mean, because right now is the time to catch up on everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah,
summer
right now-
mode.
Backlog
Catch up.
season.
No, right now is ARMS, man. Like that
Arms.
game.
Yeah, I wish
Arms.
coming out.
Are you ready for some
arms? No, I kind of wish I canceled my pre-order. It's already shipped, and so it's kind of too late. I could return it if I want to, but I'm not.
No,
after
you're not going to.
E3, I'm like, man. I looked at my list of games I want to get this year, and I was like, man, why did I get ARMS? Like,
I'll
what?
tell you why you got ARMS. I'll tell you why you got ARMS. Because ARMS is lit. You're going to
I
play
played
ARMS,
I
and
played
you're
the
going to
demo,
be
and I was like, yeah,
the
this is
demo.
cool.
The demo's barely any part of the game. Play it, you're going to love it, and then once you love it, you're going to be like, I'm the best at ARMS, and you're going to have to prove it. Blessing, I'm going to make you prove that you're the best at ARMS.
They got 7 and 8s, which are good scores, but like, I don't
Are
know,
you ready?
man.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be Ribbon Girl or whatever the hell the mummy? Are you
I'm gonna be the
ready?
ramen one for sure. I'm gonna be Min.
No, the thing is, like, it got 7s and 8s because of the same reason Splatoon did. Like, content-wise, still sparse, but they're gonna do Splatoon again. In that, they're gonna do the free DLC. They're gonna support this game
when that
pretty
comes
heavily
out,
for
I'm
a while.
too busy playing Sonic Mania.
I mean,
You're gonna play the game for
that's
it's a
problem
3-hour
with
game.
this.
until like August, isn't it?
Sonic
That's it.
Mania that comes out in August. Yeah,
Yeah, mid-August.
that's gonna take up the rest of my year.
It's a
I'm gonna be
3-hour
playing
game.
nonstop. It's Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is gonna last the rest of my life, homie. I'm still playing Sonic 2. Like, come on, son.
Bless, where do
Come
you
on,
come
son.
down on Sonic Forces?
I'm so hyped for Sonic. Sorry, I got really excited. I'm so hyped for Sonic Forces.
God, the
Um,
fucking
Listen,
trailer with all the bad guys teaming up. Like, god damn it, this is so.
You guys, I have to ask you a question. Blessing, your love for Sonic, it makes me
Yes.
have to ask, who hurt you?
Hey,
Was it Sonic?
if you know
Show
me long
us,
enough,
show us on, I know well enough, but
You-
show us on
you
the
just-
doll where Sonic touched you.
you would just know that I'm like I'm overall just like I don't know what happened. I don't know when, but like I think I got hurt as a child and just never I just never healed. I've just been like a dark person ever since. People are gonna make a racist joke out of that.
I was gonna go there, but I figured.
Don't make a
I wanted to
racist
wrap
joke.
up with something, but I forgot. I wanted to talk about one more thing before we wrapped up. Oh, Spider-Man for PS4. The gameplay. They ended the conference with that. I have opinions.
I was not the biggest fan of it.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it either.
What?
And I know people either loved it or hated it. It seems like who here loved it?
Loved it.
Loved it.
I liked
enjoyed it.
I liked it. I didn't love it, but I feel like people were too harsh on the QTEs.
There weren't that many of them.
Yeah, I felt like I had no problem with that.
There were big cinematic moments, and it wasn't invasive. It was very clear what you're supposed to do, so it's not bullshit QTE moments. But here's the thing: during the running through the building, when you crash through and you're having to like jump over stuff, it's very clear. You can see from the environment that there's other options you can take, like the thing that comes down, but there's a hole in the middle. You clearly could like jump through that and do something awesome. But the thing is, a bunch of people are doing different things in the demo right now, and they're coming out saying there's a lot of different ways to play this game than what we were just shown. The QTEs are like the moments, and I heard somebody compare it to like the Uncharted moments, and the QTEs.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also don't like Uncharted.
It's
like,
okay, neither do I.
Yeah, like the thing is, like I'm not like one of those people that just like sees QTEs and immediately like hates on them. Like Heavy Rain is one of my favorite games. Like I don't mind QTEs when they're used correctly. It does explain a lot, to be honest. But like the way they're implemented in Spider-Man, seemingly like they're like every QTE moment, I was like, why is that a QTE moment? I was like, why don't they just do like a quick cutscene kind of thing?
Yeah,
right?
I don't know why you needed a QTE for like saving the dude.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want, because the thing is, if I'm watching something happen, I don't really want to interact with it. I just want to watch it happen and then go on and then let me play. Like I feel like QTEs add zero like gameplay value to a thing.
How do you like Heavy Rain, man? I don't understand this.
Yeah, that's a total contradiction on that. You love
because when the narrative is as
Heavy
bad
Rain's
as
QTEs are more involved. I feel like Heavy Rain's, at least the difference between, because in Spider-Man the QTEs were like press square to dodge, press R2 and L2 to pull your web things towards you. Where in Heavy Rain, it's like, I'm gonna drink this cup of tea. Press left, then press like a diagonal circle right. So like, and when you press left, the hand goes like this, and then you press like when you press quarter circle up, then like you tip it. And it's like it's
really
a lot more involved.
I'm curious. You can actually like it'd be cool if you could turn it off, and that you just have to rely off of your knowledge of the buttons.
In Heavy Rain?
No, it's Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man. I'm real dumb.
I just had that idea, and I really like that idea actually.
Having to memorize all the QTEs.
Well, just having to memorize like what button does, because I think a lot of that was like what button does what.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have my hands on it so I could confirm that, but I have a feeling that might be what it is. If it could be wrong, I don't know. I'm not at E3. This does not look like the showroom of E3.
Yeah, a little bit.
But also,
my main problem with Spider-Man wasn't even the QTEs, and it's not even so much of a problem as much as it is just
you just want to hurt your father? Is that it? You just want to hurt me?
Exactly. No, it takes the thing I've been saying about the Spider-Man gameplay is that it totally in combat plays like Arkham, and that is not a bad thing at all. Except I feel like that game should feel a lot more like Sunset Overdrive than it does feel like Arkham.
Here's my, it's not really a counterpoint, but it's like another point to that, is that I feel like the Spider-Man 2 gameplay, like the Spider-Man 2 combat, much funner than Arkham's combat. I'm gonna put that out there.
Hot take from
I'm gonna put it out there.
Damn.
I'm gonna put it out because
2 in years, but
I'm a Spider-Man 2 fan.
Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite games.
Amazing.
Everybody's a Spider-Man 2 fan. There's not a bad person. There's not a person who doesn't love Spider-Man 2 that just isn't like. If you hate Spider-Man 2,
you're a bad person.
Yo, but shout out to Spider-Man Web of Shadows, though, right?
God, no.
That was a good one. That was
Web of Shadows. Web of Shadows was trash.
It's better than like what was
Ultimate Spider-Man was chill.
Time and Shattered Dimensions. Those are terrible.
Yeah, I have the
Spider-Man 2 pizza music when you're delivering that pizza. Every time I go get pizza, I think of that.
Did you hear the horrible news that Spider-Man's not going to have any pizza delivery missions?
You don't know.
I'll be upset.
DLC.
Oh no!
Season pass is all pizza.
It'll be a free Pizza Hut collaboration.
It's going to be pizza missions. It's going to be balloon catches. and it's gonna be.
I hope so. That's kind of what I want, to be honest.
That's all I want out of
MOBA.
I want an open world Spider-Man game that I can just mess around in, which is what Spider-Man 2 was. Like Spider-Man 2, of course, had like the critical path that you had to go through. It had like the story and stuff. But my favorite part of Spider-Man 2 was swinging around, chilling, saving some balloons, and that was about it. Like
my balloon.
I loved all
at 2 in the
the
morning?
random events
Yeah.
that like you just like see a citizen who's like hurt in the street. You got to pick him up and go into the.
Somebody's like, "Help! I'm gonna jump off a building," and you have to go save them. Or no, they're falling.
I
They're,
love
like,
that
hanging
stuff.
off.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was like one of the first examples of like emergent storytelling.
Yeah. And also, like, you had to play as a hero in that game, right? Where like you had a bunch of random like hero stuff that you needed to do on like a day, on like everywhere you turn. It's like I had to save somebody. Like, oh, somebody's getting robbed. Oh, another kid.
It made you feel like you were a real hero in New York City.
Yeah, it's like
there's crime on every street corner.
Yeah, and I just hope, like, I know it's like a dream that I have. I know it's probably not realistic to think that, like, I really hope that this Spider-Man takes all of like the inspiration from Spider-Man 2 and like tries to like chase after that dream. But I guess since it's 2017, I shouldn't have that expectation.
Dude,
but I think
2017 Year of Dreams Part 3.
Yeah, Nintendo gave us Year of Dreams Part 3.
Metroid.
You're right.
Yeah. 2 Metroid games. When I told a guy that they had, that's like, oh no, I'm talking about the second Metroid game that was announced this year. I just had to sit back and be like, that's a sentence I said.
Backflip.
Yeah, what a year.
Yeah. That I said that in 2017. Seriously.
2 Metroid games, huh? There you go.
Yeah. But I think that about wraps it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I know like we already kind of went through people, but we have new people now. So like, Cameron, if you could tell people what your Twitter is and what your favorite announcement was from E3.
Yeah, sure. My Twitter is @unsexiestcomedy. You can also hit me up at Naughty Gamers, which is a podcast that I host. Shameless plug. #shameless plug.
Yeah.
Hey, gotta hustle. Gotta make that dollar.
Gotta do it.
But you can also. So my favorite announcement probably coming out of that was. I'm weird. I really am looking forward to Days Gone. I really like
the only person I know who's into it.
Yeah, because everybody else is just like, oh man, it's like The Last of Us but motorcycles, and it's like, no, like Last of Us, you were playing a good man gone bad in a world that's gone bad. In this game, you're playing a guy who's already been up, like he's part of a motorcycle club. He was clearly like he was a 1%er. Like this guy is surviving in a world that's gone to shit, but he was already not a great guy. And in an interview today that they had actually at the GameSpot that was hosted by Greg Miller and Tim Geddes, they talked about Days Gone, and they talked about how this is a guy who you see at the beginning of the game is like when the world's still put together that he's not the greatest guy in the world. And I really like the idea that, I'm not just playing some single dad who's, trying to do the right thing by his little girl. Like I'm okay with this being a different type of story because I'm tired of blue collar middle America man having to go through the horrible trauma of a zombie apocalypse. I'm ready for a guy who's already been on the tougher side of life and how he copes with it, which is apparently becoming a bounty hunter and being a badass. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in this new type of zombie, which is like a weird combination of a couple different types. I like the idea of weaponizing zombies against people. You didn't get that.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Looks awesome.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we only got that a little bit in the DLC, and I wanted more of that instantly.
Yeah.
And with the amount of like zombies they can put in Days Gone, that seems like a really cool tool.
I like the idea of like the kind of traps that they have, the kind of like environment that you're like in is very cool. It's very conducive to this idea of a badass bounty hunter who honestly is still like really fucked up from how the world ended, even though he was already supposed to be a hard ass kind of guy. I want to see more of that story, and I get other people are just like, well, I'm just not interested in it. It's like because you're expecting dramatic, like I don't know. I think we've been spoiled by the type of zombie stories that we've had. That to have like one that's just a little bit different isn't enough for people, but it is for me. And I'm usually not a big zombie guy. So
nice.
Days Gone was a big point for me. Also, Final Fantasy VR. I'm joking. No.
Okay.
I want to fish. I want
Fishing
to
game.
fish, damn it. I want to fish.
Fish team.
I want to fish. I want to take pictures. And I hope you can cook in that game. Because if you can cook in that game, yeah, I'll actually play that.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm positive you can cook. You can cook that mess. Cody, what about you? What was your?
Jeez.
Yeah. Going back to Mario, like not even just Odyssey, like even that Mario and Rabbids Kingdom battle, they did something new with Mario and they made an XCOM game, and that just baffles me on so many levels, and I'm really just excited to try that out.
That thick peach rabbit.
Oh no!
Yeah,
oh, no.
that peach rabbit.
Oh, God.
Yo, she knows what's up.
Woo! When she got taken by that plant, I was like, "Oh no, they're going there! Oh no, I didn't want this.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want this at all."
Oh god.
And then you realize you did.
No, I didn't. I never wanted that.
Peach
Because then I
rabbit was-
realized I was like, "No," and then she takes a selfie, and I'm just like, "Why?"
For the gram.
Why?
I just want a Waluigi rabbit, man, and I want him to have like a gun, like an actual revolver gun.
I think he's
Not
more of
just
a
laser gun.
9mm Beretta.
I just want to blow some fucking rabbit's brains out.
For real though.
That'd be
Waluigi
fucking
rabbit
awesome.
ain't nobody's fool.
Oh my!
Jeez.
Waluigi's DLC.
12 gauge DLC.
Thank Cody. Stay away from Lauren. That's Bay. Who's left?
Oh,
Who's left? Who's left? I think that Sean covers everybody because I feel like the rest of us already kind of introduced our. So, thank you to Cameron. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Jordan, and thank you, Moises, for joining me on this very special episode, and probably our worst episode. Might also be our best episode.
No, it's my debut.
Someone
I've
else.
never been on an OK Beast podcast before. It's my
Oh yeah, I think it's all your guys' first time.
Oh yeah,
except
this
for
has been
Dylan.
Yes,
fucking
correct.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm a classic. I'm a throwback.
I appreciate you guys so much for coming on. It's been fun. It's been a good 3-hour long thing. I like this because
Damn.
it switched up our E3 coverage,
That's
and so
crazy.
it's been a good few hours. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to go to bed. For
Well,
those
it's
listening,
later
for
over
those
here. What you
watching-
talking about?
What was that?
It's later over here. What the hell are you talking about?
Man, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, dude.
What the?
Yeah,
fuck?
so I go to sleep at like 9:30.
Blessing's a grown ass man.
Yeah, I got I got grown man responsibilities, man.
You're right. Because
Respect.
last night I went to sleep at 6 in the morning.
I'm a
so-
22-year-old boy that has like the mindset of a 60-year-old Kratos in God of War. That didn't make sense. I'm so sorry.
He looks like a 7-year-old boy.
It's that time of day. The OKBeast podcast is a weekly gaming and nerd culture centric show. This is where we get together and talk about the biggest topics in games and culture. If you like the show, subscribe to us on your streaming service of choice. Visit okbeast.com and follow at OKBeast now on Twitter. I've been Blessing. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Blessing Jr. My favorite announcement of E3, of course, Shadow Colossus. We'll see you guys on the next episode. I'm so sorry for this.